And we are live.
Okay, finally. All right. Hello, guys. Welcome back to Olympics on My Mind once again. It's been a while, we know, and that's why we thought that it's the year is coming to an end, so we had to do something around it. Obviously, many of you would have seen the topic of today's live stream. We'll eventually come to that, but yeah, it's going to be a year-end review as well as finally coming on to that top 10 ranking list. But yes, before that, as always, this is me, Vaibhav, joined by my co host Kapil, who is solely responsible for this 15-minute delay. So, you know whom to blame if you've been waiting eagerly for this. How's it going, Kapil?
Yeah, it's going okay. It's going fine. And this time, for once, I cannot actually say I'm not responsible. I am responsible. Though
Mm,
the more accurately, it's my laptop which is responsible, or my
yeah, I was
OBS which
coming to
is.
that.
Uh,
I'll give it to
uh,
the technology. That technology is responsible. You're
uh,
not to be blamed for it.
yeah, I guess the good part is at least the issues happened before we started. Hopefully, they don't happen again. So as long as that happens, I'll be happy. But
But yeah,
okay.
otherwise, how's it going? Lots of chess, I believe you've been watching, flooding my timeline, spamming with so many chess developments and updates.
Yeah, so I mean, it has been a historical year in chess, and it right now actually देखा जाए तो सिर्फ chess और cricket ही चालू है और चालू भी किया है.
Hmm.
So I have to watch something. I'm watching chess. I'm watching cricket. I have to go to the 1KD in like 10 hours. So
Acha, you're going for the Indian women's cricket test match.
yeah, so plan is to go
Nice.
tomorrow morning. So I have to go to the 1KD in 10 hours as well.
Hmm.
And yeah, chess has been great. Just big win yesterday for Gukesh. And हाँ, इंडिया ने फोड़ दिया है पूरा बेसिकली चेस में
Hmm.
पूरा वाला फोड़ रखा है.
Okay, cool stuff.
हम्म, बोलो.
Hmm. All right. So yeah, coming on to what we are on it about this live stream. So look, 2023, it's been a very eventful year for Indian sports. As is, it's a pre-Olympic year where the competition is very high. The qualification has started for almost every sport. So as is, it's a very important year, and on top of it, having a postponed Asian Games from last year, it made it even more interesting. We had some of our Indian athletes producing tremendous performances. uh, some of them were able to meet expectations. Some of them continued to shine bright. There were, as always is the case, a few disappointments as well. There were a few who emerged as the rising stars. We are going to touch upon all of that. So yeah, overall, anything to share, talk about, Kapil, before we move on to the lists?
Yeah, I guess we can do an overall review a little bit of the year at the end, but
But
हाँ,
yeah, how has been the year for you following Indian sports, specifically Olympics related?
yeah, honestly speaking, outside the Asian Games and non-Olympic sports, so compound archery was great, chess was great, cricket eventually felt disappointing only घूम फिर के. But if you can focus just on the Olympic sports, I think
Mm.
outside of Asian Games, which was awesome, Asian Games के बाद was overall a little disappointed, not too much, just a little.
Outside of Asian Games, you mean?
हाँ, outside of Asian Games. Asian
Mm.
Games was awesome. So Asian Games
Okay.
में we got what 107, 108 by the end.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
in general, Asian Games sort of pretty much turned out as perfectly as it could. But
Yeah.
उसके बाहर, in the world events like World Cups, badminton tour events,
Hmm.
qualification events, overall, just a slight disappointing year,
Mm.
in my opinion. But yeah,
Yeah.
we can talk about it.
Yeah. I think I'd agree with you. Also, because this year being the Asian Games, and for us Indian sports persons, it is whenever you have, let's say, Commonwealth Game or Asian Games or Olympics, that becomes the major goal for the year, right?
Yeah,
Even more than World Championships for a few.
yeah. This
So
time,
that
so
ways,
it clearly was. I mean, there's no debate
yeah,
about that.
yeah. So that ways, it's a good thing also that Asian Games being the main goal. and that is where the highest performances or the best performances came. So yeah, it's a positive sentiment overall in terms of performances and achievements. But yes, let's deep dive into it further.
Yep. चलो फिर we'll move on to the first slide. उसके पहले I'll just remind everyone guys कि for the first time super chats are open if anybody wants to use it. So just a indicator there. And yeah,
Hmm.
let's move to the first slide.
Yeah,
So by the way, we said right the way we'll be doing this is we don't have a ranking ready with us. हम लोग बनाएंगे ranking as we go along. And so this is just a preview to before we move on to the rankings. So go
yeah,
ahead, Weber.
yeah. So guys, just don't get taken aback. This is not the main list. We are going to come to the main list, but before that, we thought uh, these are some of the sports persons which we definitely have to talk about because these did not make it to the top ones, but they have been either disappointing for some or the other reason, or they were very close to the top list. So they definitely warranty a mention, right? So that's why this is like a we've tried to make it as comprehensive as possible. But yes, if any if you feel there should be someone else who should be making it to the list, these two lists, please just continue chatting in the live chat and keep giving your suggestions. All right. As I said, starting with close but not close enough, which are the worthy mentions. So, of course, it's been a decent, I wouldn't say decent, but more than decent year for Indian shooters. That's where at least our major focus is as far as this list is concerned. You see so many shooters here, almost half the list is made of them. Yeah, they Asian Games, outside of Asian Games, quotas, they were all over the place. We are still sitting at, matching, almost matching the Tokyo number of quotas we had in Tokyo. And there are two more events to go. Then there were a few outstanding world class performances as well by a few. So, just quickly touching upon each one of them. Firstly, with Rudransh, I think it was a strong year for Rudransh, but not as much as uh, up to his own lofty standards that he had set last year, where he was winning everything under the sun, from World Championship, World Cup final, etc. So उसका वही था 630 plus consistency रही. He was able to sustain that level. So I thought overall I was happy with what he did, but yeah, still not the best to make it to the top list. What do you think, Kapil?
Yeah, so definitely, I mean, when you compare with the last year, he's not been at the same level. I'm showing some results as well. So if you see, his first half of the year was much better. He's got a
Yeah.
couple of golds in the Cairo World Cup. He's got a couple of bronzes in the Bhopal World Cup. But then uske baad, there was also a factor where he hasn't really competed in the later some of the later events. So for example, World Championships mein he didn't compete because he already had a quota.
Hmm.
Asian Championships mein he has competed in the RPO category, but in
Yeah,
this
but
time it was
he had a decent score and could have made the final there.
yeah, but at the same time he in the Asian Championships this was not a case where he didn't have a quota. That's why he's competing in RPO. He was
Hmm.
competing in RPO because he lost his place in the side because we already had two quotas by then.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
so उस हिसाब से थोड़ा later part of the year थोड़ा mix हो गया है. Other people are starting to challenge him. And yeah, but if you actually value the first half of the year equally, we might even have him in the next
Uh,
slide or in the main
Kapil,
list.
Asian Championship, I think we won the quota there by Arjun Babuta, it was. So Rudransh has been consistently ranked as national rank number one. So that wasn't the reason that he was a part of RPO.
अच्छा एशियन
He was the
चैंपियनशिप्स
part.
में कोटा आया क्या? आई
So
थॉट
they
वर्ल्ड
were
चैंपियनशिप में
World
अखिल
Championship में
ओके
आया and Arjun
हाँ
Babuta won the quota in
हाँ
Asian
नहीं नहीं
Championship.
हाँ
So
या
that was
राइट
the reason he wasn't part of the main squad.
हाँ नहीं नहीं आई गॉट कंफ्यूज विद अखिल शिवरन ओके ठीक है
Hmm.
बट आई थिंक आई had read that even then he was like third or fourth only he was not first so for
So
example
he
हाँ so
has been consistently number one in terms of national ranking since last year.
No, but Asian Championships में then he should compete in mixed team, na? At least mixed team में भी is not competed.
That I don't know. The reason I don't know, but yeah, because I've been keeping a track of the national rankings, so he hasn't budged from that top position.
ठीक है नहीं, but I had at least read in some article, maybe I'm remembering wrong, कि he's dropped to like third of, he dropped at least momentarily to third or fourth.
No, I don't think so. Chalo, ठीक है. Anyways,
हाँ ठीक है,
so
it's
yeah,
fine. हाँ
majorly, I think 630 plus he's been scoring, and the only blip is towards the end of the season. I think because there were so many competitions coming thick and fast, I think there was some exhaustion there, and his scores kind of dipped to 626, 628, which is not usually the case with Rudransh.
yeah yeah. So वही first half much better, second half not as good. So that's why easier.
Yeah, yeah. I think somewhat similar story for Sarabjot also. First half was fantastic. He was scoring 585 plus, won a couple of World Cup medals as well, including one gold he won here in Bhopal World Cup. And then again, second half of the year, you'll see his performances dipped along with rest of the air pistol contingent also. The good part was he was able to win that coveted quota in Asian
Exactly.
Championship. That was the first quota we had in air pistol. So yeah, that was a good achievement overall. He's been the only
Pistol
how do I
shooter.
put it? Yeah, only pistol shooter who's been performing honestly.
It's in the on the men's side. Women's side we still have a couple of others.
I mean, air pistol. If we talk about
हाँ
from
ठीक है.
both men's and
Yeah
women's, he's been the only one who's been
hmm.
performing decently.
Yeah yeah. And I'm just saying वही I think you said two gold medals, right? One in Baku, one in Bhopal. Baku
Yeah,
में mixed team में and Bhopal
yeah,
में वहाँ पे. And he had
yeah.
even like a couple of fourth places actually also. Uh,
Couple of fourth places, including Asian Games.
oh, so then three. In fact, I'm seeing
Hmm.
Baku World Cup and Cairo World Cup
Okay.
just to show here. Yeah. So this is like Baku में 10 meter, fourth, mixed team में fifth. Yeah. Yeah. Another guy who could have made the main list, but sort of just landed here.
Hmm.
And and yeah, we can move to others as well. So for example, Akhil Sheodan had that one bronze medal performance at the World Championship, got him the quota
Yeah,
as well. I'm not too sure उसके अलावा कितने performances हैं.
yeah. I
Uh,
don't think there's anything significant with Akhil, and also with that World Championship, no, couple. Obviously it was a depleted field because the ones who had won the quota in the previous 2022
yeah,
World Championship, they were not participating.
true.
So if you see Akhil's actual performance in that World Championship, winning bronze, where he won the bronze, he got a bronze with 585 in qualification, which is not, showcasing the true level of performance.
नहीं, but 585 in pistol is fine. I mean, I think we had agreed last time that 630.
53p, no, Kapil,
Ah,
53p
okay, okay,
we are
sorry,
talking
sorry.
about.
Yeah, sorry,
So
sorry. Yes.
53p may usually
हाँ,
588 is also on the boundary line.
yeah, नहीं नहीं ठीक है. 53 पे में yeah, okay. 585 is maybe on the lower side only. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But yeah,
anyway,
end of the day, World Championship medal is a World Championship medal, so you have to give it to him.
but yeah, no other medals.
Yep.
Yeah, दिखा ही रहा हूँ मैं और कुछ है नहीं खास. Okay,
Hmm.
next one, Manu Bhaker, you want to talk about? I think that's your one of your
Manu,
favorites.
yeah, she's always been a favorite, and I'm really very happy that she's back. Not just in 25-meter, but she's back in 10-meter air pistol as well. Presently, she's heading the national rankings there. Also, she's number one right now. Talking specifically about 25-meter pistol, which has been the mainstay event for her this year. Okay, let's admit that she did not won anything significant, but the fact that she was able to put herself in those medal winning positions a lot of number of times, and as a result of which she was able to win that quota also. I think that is why she features in the list. Another small trivia around Manu. We all know 590 is like the holy benchmark in 25-meter pistol, right? It's one of the, it's like the world class scores which we get to see very rarely in World Cups or World Championships also. I was simply counting, if you see Manu's performance in 25-meter pistol this year, including both domestic and international events, she scored a total of five times 590 plus scores. Would you believe that?
Yeah, I mean the problem with Manu has always been the in 25 meters the finals, right? Uh,
Yeah,
I guess there is a little bit of improvement. Bhopal mein there was a bronze, quota mila, so there is definitely improvement. So from that perspective, 25 meters looking good. But yeah, her qualification has never really been a major concern. The concern has
yeah,
always been the final.
yeah.
So
And
that's the thing.
also the fact that she's back, as the stories are, doing rounds, that she's back with Jaspal, training with him, and obviously there's a improvement ever since that news came out. So
Mm,
hopefully things are streamlined for her, and she continues this progression. ग्रोथ
Yeah.
कर्व बोलने वाला था मैं, इनका थोड़ा ज्यादा कंसल्टिंग लिंग हो जाएगा.
नहीं बट मैं यही देख रहा था मतलब इफ यू जस्ट लुक एट द मतलब आई एम शोइंग ऑन द स्ट्रीम आल्सो इफ यू जस्ट लुक एट द अचीवमेंट्स मोस्ट ऑफ इट इज कमिंग इन 2021 2018 2023 में थोड़ा बहुत
Yeah.
बीच बीच में आता है सो या मतलब फ्रॉम यू कैन से फ्रॉम हर स्टैंडर्ड्स मे बी 10 मीटर स्पेशली स्टिल अ डिसअपॉइंटिंग ईयर बट देन फिर वो वाली बात है कि okay shooters after Tokyo have changed a lot and she's kind of the one of the only ones who's sort of managed who was among the top shooters before Tokyo and she's managed
Hmm.
to stay there because
Yep.
others have kind of changed एक दो और पे you can make an argument like Aishwarya Tomar है
Yeah.
there might be another one or two which I'm missing but
But Aishwarya also came like 2 3 years after Manu.
yeah so he also was like on the upswing going into Tokyo but he was not regarded as let's say one of our absolute top shooters
Yeah.
going into
True.
Tokyo
True.
yeah हाँ उसके आगे I mean just to quickly say so Ramita Jindal what I had seen was in general if you look at her the performance across the year she's kind of been one of the so close yet so far kind of girl मैंने देखा था there were like three performances World Cup Asian Games और Asian Championships मिला के
Hmm.
where she ended like ninth or 10th in qualification and
Mm-hmm.
so you sort of miss out on the that final by a very narrow margin
Yeah.
and then in terms of medals she still did get like a couple of medals in I think one in Asian Games one in Asian Championships
True.
world level पे I think अभी भी medal नहीं है in the senior
Yep.
category but
Yep.
yeah if you see years
Which is
ago
okay. I think she's the level at which she's performing. I think she's a beast when it comes to consistency, Kapil. If you see her scores, she's consistently shooting between 631 and 633. You know that. If you see her last 15 scores also,
hmm,
guess what is the lowest score that she has shot?
well मेरे सामने कायरो वर्ल्ड कप है 630.6
No, no. I when I say 15 events, that includes all the trials, national
yeah
championship, national
हाँ
games, everything,
हाँ
domestic also.
so I thought कायरो वर्ल्ड कप should be there ना उसके बाद 15 हो गए
Hmm. No, but
अच्छा
because
you
there are so many trials and
अच्छा you're
national
saying कि
games,
there is more lesser okay हाँ
right? Okay,
तो
let me change it. Last 5 months, let's say,
कितना
she might have shot
629 629 टाइप
629.5 is the lowest that she scored.
yeah so
So
the downside
that's
is
why
that
she's
only कि
so lucky.
मतलब consistency is there but the peak is maybe can still be a little higher
It can, yes, definitely. That ceiling is not very, very high, but it's decent that she, like, there are a few 631,
Hmm.
632s, which are okay.
by the way guys chat में कुछ मैसेज नहीं आ रहे हैं you can use if you want I know थोड़े viewers कम ही हम लोग के अभी because we got delayed but yeah you can use
Yeah.
the chat as well and yeah जैसे मैं बोल रहा था कि this near miss kind of thing कायरो में
Hmm.
भी fourth भोपाल में भी fourth बाकू में 10th so that's like just missed out the 8th फिर उसके बाद एशियन चैंपियनशिप एशियन गेम्स में जाओगे तो भी सिचुएशन सिमिलर ही है
Right.
so that was the case yeah उसके अलावा we have like Tilotama again Tilotama is actually maybe the opposite of Namita in that sense
Yep.
कि
Totally opposite.
no consistency but when she does well she does pretty well
Yeah,
So
yeah.
quota is also the example of that. मैंने देखा था there were like couple of medals, one or two medals here and there as well.
Kotashi finished fourth as well in World Championship.
हाँ या मैं वही बोल रहा था कि what was the main उसका achievement was fourth in the world championship.
There's
The
a World Cup bronze as well to her.
yeah, that's the same thing. बाकू
Mm.
में world and कायरो में bronze.
Mm. See, but the thing is, after Asian Championship, there have been some 5 or 6 domestic events, and she's totally lost the pace. I was telling you about her. She's not even in the top 10 ranking list right now in terms of national rankings, and there is a very, very high chance that she might miss out on the Olympic trials also. That's how far she is right now.
But फिर Olympic trial तो अब वो rule change हो गया था that it depends on world rankings as well, right? Because
Or
her world ranking
world,
is still number 5.
her world ranking is number
Yeah,
5.
yeah.
Okay. So maybe after that rule change, she might still make it. But if at all that I don't know if that world ranking slides down. I don't know what the exact methodology that they use for world ranking.
नहीं
But
वर्ल्ड
right
रैंक
now,
हाँ बट वर्ल्ड रैंकिंग भी बाय द वे मैंने देखा था जो दे हैड चेंज द मेथोडोलॉजी मतलब अर्लियर इट वाज हेवीली recency based before Tokyo or maybe before 2022 but in recent times they changed it and it's more like based on your best similar to जैसे बैडमिंटन का होता है like best 6 events or
hmm,
7 events or
hmm,
whatever
hmm, hmm,
या maybe best 10 events जो भी हैं so I don't think the world ranking is gonna drop at least
what
until the trial list is made
what
उसके
does the
बाद
federation say that if you're like what is
so
the world ranking
हाँ
clause there?
okay so from what I remember the clause was if you are in the top 3 of the national rankings
Hmm,
or your top 3 Indians in the world rankings
hmm.
okay
Then you can make it.
then you get the trial and
Hmm.
if you are like fourth if you're fourth or fifth in both national rankings and the world
Then also
rankings
you can make
then you
it.
make it so that
Hmm.
was the basic idea and plus then I think quota holder hai so you directly make it
Oh
something
yes,
something
yes.
like that
That is definitely there. That if you had won the quota or you had put yourself in a position where you could have won the quota,
Hmm.
so
वो
then
है
you make
पक्का
it.
हाँ तो
Yes.
वो पक्का है
हाँ
तब
हाँ
तो
वो
फिर
है वो है.
तो टिलोटमा का कोटा ही है तो
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
वो
yeah.
तो
I
होना ही
missed
है
out
फिर
on that. Yes.
तो फिर एक्चुअली देखा जाए नेशनल रैंकिंग्स करेंटली डोंट रियली मैटर राइट
They don't. They don't. But her obviously they do indicate the dip in her form, present form right now.
या ट्रू शी विल आर्ग्यू कि ओके इट डजंट मैटर राइट नाउ बट या दैट इज फाइन
Hmm. Okay.
And yeah, Ananjit Naduka is mainly there because of the last two performances. At least इस पे बाय द वे मैं और वैभव पूरी तरह से लड़ लिए थे आनंदजीत के ऊपर हम लोग लिटरली आधा घंटा फोन पे लड़े कि वेदर इज नेम शुड बी हियर और नॉट वैभव वाज लाइक कि सिर्फ 2 इवेंट है पहले कुछ नहीं किया है आई वाज लाइक लेकिन दोस 2 इवेंट्स आर गुड इनफ टू गेट हिम हियर सो या
Yeah, those
बेसिकली
are
हाँ
Asian level events. No, that's the main point. And when you're talking about skeet, Asia is not even like a good region in skeet. Just a couple of countries who really do well on a regular basis.
Yeah, but I mean, I was really impressed with the 58 on 60 in the finals of the Asian Games because that is just an absolute world class score. किसी भी level के ऊपर 58 on 16 final is just mind blowing. He ended up with silver, but that was just because somebody 60-year-old guy ended up getting 60 on 60. Legend. The Kuwait guy. I
Yeah,
can't quite remember the name. But yeah, and yeah, there's no doubt that Asia is not the strongest in shotgun. I do feel women shotgun is much more weaker than men shotgun. Men shotgun is not that weak because these Middle Eastern countries come in. Your Qatar, your Kuwait, sometimes even a UAE or something used to come in earlier. Not really. Mainly Qatar and Kuwait who come in, and then you obviously have China is there. Korea is okay, but yeah, no doubt कि shotgun is not as strong in Asia as it is in as rifle pistol is. But yeah, I thought, and also given that we don't really have any other shotgun shooters here, and even our shotgun performance has have been pretty weak. So I thought Anandji deserved a name here. But yeah, he was never really in contention for
yeah.
the actual top 10.
See,
But
the only thing is, if you talk about entire Indian shotgun contingent, he definitely has been the shining star there. not just international. Okay, you spoke about Asian Games. He had a fantastic performance there. He very narrowly missed out on the quota in Asian Championship. But domestically also, if you see his performance, especially recently, Kapil, he's been consistently scoring 120 plus scores in qualification, and
Yeah.
then ultimately winning the finals also. So yeah, he's far ahead of other skeet shooters right now, and definitely one to watch out for next year, because I feel the quota is definitely coming, and the way he's been progressing, and if he continues to progress, so yeah, definitely maybe closer to Paris, there is something to watch out for.
Yeah, that is basically what we had discussed earlier also. कि मतलब the first half of the year maybe nothing special, but the second half of the year is still better. And maybe eventually, subconsciously, you kind of value the second half of the year slightly better because it makes you feel better about the future potential. So
Right.
that's also there. So yeah, those are all the shooters. You want to move on to the second list?
Yeah. Next, again, continuing quickly with the worthy mentions, a couple of names you'd see here is from the boxing, women's boxing, especially both Preeti Pawar and Praveen Hooda. The fact that they won bronze in Asian Games, which also resulted in them winning quota. So that's why we thought they are worthy of getting mentioned here. For Preeti, she performed decently in World Championship as well. Although she couldn't medal there, she lost in a very close split decision bout there. But yeah, it was a decent performance from her. And for Praveen, I think in Asian Games she was the only Indian boxer in Asian Games to beat a Chinese boxer, which was a bit of an upset that she had caused. So yeah, we thought that these two names should also be there as the worthy mentions.
Yeah,
Couple.
yeah, and looking forward to the potential more than anything else. But yeah,
Right.
you have summed that up pretty well. I think I can move straight away to Sutilta and Aika.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sutilta Aika obviously had that one great moment at the Asian Games. We all know that.
Which in
Uh,
itself is
uh,
worthy of
Worthy of just
them
getting here.
in the
And
list.
the other one, they have also, I think they did win one tournament as well, two level event in the doubles. The only downside you can say about them is that eventually women's doubles directly is not a Olympic event, but indirectly it is because it's contested in the team event. So वो एक फैक्टर है और ओके वुमेन्स डबल्स में एटलीस्ट वर्ल्ड टूर में मुझे लगता है कि मे बी द competition is not that high, but the Asian Games victory over China, you have to be mentioned here because of that.
Yeah, that was one of the highlights from the entire Asian Games. Even though we did not end up winning a medal there, but
Hmm.
still it almost felt like winning a medal.
No, we did not. They won the bronze.
They did? Oh, okay. I
No,
thought
no,
they lost in quarterfinals or something.
नहीं नहीं they lost in semis. They won the bronze. वो
Okay.
third
Okay,
place
my
match
bad.
था नहीं. हाँ, third place match था नहीं. So they won the bronze. And yeah, they have done well. आगे क्या होगा वो तो टाइम ही बताएगा. But yeah,
Yeah.
as of now, representation for table tennis over there as well. You want to move to Jyoti
Yeah.
Yadaji?
Let's quickly touch upon women's hockey. First, so women's hockey again, had they won, it was pretty simple for them. Asian Games and Asian Championship,
Hmm.
they did a bit of disappointment they had in Asian Games, because we were thinking probably they'll make it to the final or go all the way out, but they ended up winning a bronze there, which was a bit of disappointment. But they kind of salvaged it, winning the Asian Championship later on. So yeah, women's hockey again is worthy of a mention here.
Yeah, the only counterpoint there you can put is Asian Champions Trophy. मतलब the field was slightly weaker. Uh,
True,
China and Japan especially didn't come with their full squads. Korea actually, sorry, China and Korea didn't come with their full squad. I think Japan still had a pretty full
decent
squad,
squad. Yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah, there have been other off tournaments as well. Just like I think Spain के साथ कोई series थी or something. Few
They
year and
did well there. Yeah,
few year and then eventually, if you think about women's hockey across the year, honestly, there is just that one bad match, which was that 4-0 loss to China. उसके अलावा in that tournament also we won everything. So, but yeah, that one bad match keeps them here and not the Next, इसमें I think I will also add a little bit के they did win that Nations Cup in December 2022, so it was not 2023, but very close. तो feeling में थोड़ा matter करता है कि they have qualified for the Pro League. But yeah, they are here, and yeah, I think that's where they deserve to be. Jan में by the way qualification है, so that is the big one.
Yep, yep. Where is it? India or somewhere else?
इंडिया में ही है
India
शायद.
only, right?
हाँ इंडिया में ही
Good.
हो गया बिकॉज आई थिंक इट
Yeah.
वाज सपोज टू बी इन चाइना एंड देन चाइना क्वालिफाइड सो इट गॉट शिफ्टेड टू इंडिया आई थिंक ऐसा कुछ हुआ था.
Okay.
आई
Okay.
एम नॉट श्योर बट हाँ आई थिंक ऐसा कुछ हुआ था. बट या इट इज
Cool.
देयर इन इंडिया आई रिमेंबर बिकॉज कविता बोल रही थी कि इट्स लाइक जैसे वो इंडिया की न्यूज़ है आई वाज वरीड कि तू बोलेगा अब यहाँ चलो. बट इसलिए या इट इज इन इंडिया.
Okay. Cool. Good stuff.
Yeah,
ठीक है.
I guess before going athletics, I'll complete Dheeraj.
Mm-hmm.
So Dheeraj, yeah, Dheeraj. I think I'm the main one who's put Dheeraj here. He's not, the thing is, most people remember. By the way, it is Dheeraj Bommadevara from archery. So most people remember Dheeraj for those two misses in the Asian Games, which happened on TV and obviously didn't look good. But the reason Dheeraj is here is that at least in my archery watching career, I have not seen a single recurve archer who has done so well in the ranking rounds. Even when Deepika Kumari was at her peak, she was world number one and all that. Ranking round में she used to end somewhere around 8, 9, 7, 10 यहाँ पे आती थी. And Dheeraj, at least in a couple of occasions, I think maybe more than a couple of occasions, he's actually competed with the Koreans in the ranking round, which honestly nobody in the world really manages to do, except maybe a Brady Ellison or somebody. So just based on that ranking round, he's there. Unfortunately, it's not translated to medals and to the match play format yet. Hopefully it does later. And yeah, I know he won the quota, but for archery मेरे को हमेशा लगता है individual quota is like the bare minimum you need to do. Team
Yeah.
quota is the one we look at. So I
But I
don't.
guess when the quotas are not coming from anywhere and there
हाँ.
are possibilities of having zero quota also, even a single quota looks good.
Yeah, true. But फिर वही बात है. Then you are like lowering the goalpost. It's
Yeah,
like
you are actually. It
uh,
was it was an apt time also to lower the goalpost. By the way, Samrat is saying okay, he didn't have any medals, but he
beat
was
Kimbogen
able
and
to beat
Brady.
Temujin, yeah, and Brady
Uh,
Ellison, which in itself is a significant,
exactly. So
mini achievement.
yeah, so Dheeraj is more like so far I think this year was a case of he showed his potential, but he's not yet delivered on the potential. So hopefully next year.
Hmm.
And if it happens at the Olympics, nothing like it. And yeah, obviously he still does have team medals, right? So it's not मतलब Asian Games maybe they got a silver मिला था कि bronze मिला था, but they did get team medal. I think जो World Cup final होता है उसमें I think Dheeraj was like fourth. So it's not all bad, but yeah, he's one guy I think who can do much better than he did this year.
Yeah, yeah. So obviously there are some bit of expectations from him next year.
Jyoti and Tejaswin, you want to cover them?
Jyoti and Tejaswin, I think I'll talk about both of them in unison. The only reason that they had, they were the ones who had breakthrough performances in athletics. They were the ones who were able to introduce us to a totally new event. That's the reason they find themselves in the list. Yes, we know that they are still not up to the world elite level. Jyoti is almost on the borderline of that. She still has some 5 to 10% improvement to make in her performances to reach that world elite level. But yeah, seeing her career progression and the way we all saw what happened in Asian Games and the way she fought to maybe fought is not the right word, but she stood her guard there against the officials and kind of claimed her uh, position there, starting position again when she was on the verge of getting disqualified. So yeah, these small reasons for TJ trying to attempt a decathlon and going out of his way and bringing decathlon to our all of us our consciousness. So that's again the reason for him to be in that list. That's the only thing.
Yeah, I
Do you
think
have
yeah,
anything to add, Kapil?
yeah, I think largely covered it. I mean, I'll just add. So the for me, the main thing was they both of them made us notice them this year. At least
And not just them, the event in itself.
itself, yes. मतलब they were both events, मतलब sprinting as well as decathlon, where we don't really have much of a history. Sprinting में PT उषा की थोड़ी history है, but then even her top events were like the 400 meter. So sprinting and decathlon, we don't have much history there. So the events got noticed, and but yeah, मतलब if you're thinking about can they win Olympic medals and stuff, I have basically no hope. Maybe you
Hmm.
do, but I have no
No,
hope.
no, even I don't have it. It's just that that's not their positioning only.
Yeah,
They are here for totally different reasons.
agree. ठीक है, should we just move to the disappointment list quickly?
Yes, yes, let's go ahead.
Yeah, so this actually starts with Husamuddin, which honestly we could have put in the close but not close enough list as well. He had a world championship bronze, which is great, but then he just got injured. And so he's here mainly because he had a very injury prone year, and we don't know what his status is when he's coming back.
Yeah, I think he's back. He started training again. That's there.
I
And
think
I think with him, the disappointment is more not because of his performances, more because of an untimely injury that happened to him.
yeah, and yeah, in that sense, we can also add that even though the title says the disappointments, you can put that disappointment or bad years. So these are just people who had bad years for one reason or the other.
Yeah,
So Hussam just had a bad year due to injury, and Shiva was the other one who actually has performed pretty under par,
yeah.
especially in the Asian Games where he was the one guy who seemed to have a very great draw,
Mm.
and he lost pretty badly. So yeah, we don't know what is going on with him. Manish का नाम ये नहीं यहाँ नहीं है, but he's also in the same category, and we can add him also on the injury affected list. He's also not really competed because of injuries. I'm not too sure what's happening there,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah,
For Manish, I think his injury layoff has been even bigger than Husamuddin.
yeah, mm,
So he also underwent some. I think it wasn't surgery, but there was a disc problem with him, which requires a lot of rest. So that is why he had stopped competing for the good 7 8 months, starting months of this year. But now again he's back. I remember he had won gold in the recent national games in the usual category that he participates in.
ठीक है,
Yeah, definitely he's on the comeback trail
come back.
again.
Yeah, hopefully. And yeah, I think talking about injuries, I think maybe we can look at some other names also where injuries are the reason they are here. So one reason is clearly Anshu Malik.
Hmm.
Another person for whom this was expected to be a breakout year. She came up short at the Olympics, but other than that, she has largely wowed us whenever she's competed. But yeah,
Yeah.
this year again she was absent, and it wasn't. And ठीक है, wrestling में obviously we know there is that entire protest thing and all those things. But
Mm.
Anshu Malik was one which it wasn't a case of protest affecting her. It seemed to be just that she's injured and not fully fit. And
Yeah.
even despite
And
that, she
also
is.
the fact that, after that World Championship silver,
Hmm,
this was supposed to be her year. And when
exactly.
other top wrestlers not, performing because of the protests, because of the injuries, so this was her year to shine out.
Yeah. So she's also there, and we might even add the top wrestlers. So top wrestlers, we put it as one, but it essentially means Ravi, Bajrang, and Vinesh. And Ravi, obviously, another one who's mainly had the injury issue. He even had a surgery and all. But again, ये एक wrestling में थोड़ा problem होता है कि even though they are injured, they still try to compete. So Anshu also, has tried to compete. You know, despite maybe injuries, Ravi definitely tried to compete despite an injury. So that is a problem. And yeah, उसके अलावा बजरंग and Vinesh, okay, somewhat of protest, somewhat not being fit, some
Injury, yeah.
injury. Yeah,
Yeah.
so and yeah, I guess we'll just point out. So we have had our first super chat from Sai Dattu of
Yeah.
$2. So thanks for that. And he's asking how much Vaibhav are you worried about Lakshya? You want to move
Yes,
Lakshya or?
we will definitely talk about Lakshya. I'm obviously not going to
Hmm,
leave him, but yeah, we can definitely. start with him only. If
Yeah, yeah. Maybe we'll just finish off Mirabai Chanu again. Similar case where
okay,
she's on the list because of injury, right? Matlab, again,
injury as well as
long-term
not
injury.
being not being at her 100% fitness. That
Uh,
could be because of injury, or I don't know.
maybe the level itself has dropped. Yeah, we don't know at this point.
Yes, yes,
Uh,
even that could be the
Yeah,
case.
and I would say out of all of these, I think Mirabai Chanu is the one I'm most worried about in terms of can she actually get back to full fitness by the time Paris arrives? Anshu, I think hopefully should get there. Ravi hopefully should get there. Vinesh, even if she doesn't get there, there's Antim. Bajranga, I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm definitely worried about Mirabai in that sense. Okay, will
Yeah,
she get there?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah,
and we spoke about in the Asian Games that there are other competitors which are obviously there are Chinese and the Thais, but there are others who are closing on with to Mira. So
mm,
she's made for whatever reason she's made life much difficult for her going into the Paris now.
yeah. Okay, you want to move to Lakshya?
Yeah, coming on to badminton, first we'll talk about Lakshay. So specifically answering your question, Sai Dattu, yes, I am definitely worried about Laksh. I don't know exactly what is going on with him because if you see the way his year has been, it's been a downhill totally from where he was in 2022. The kind of performances or the kind of strategy, if you see, I don't know, things don't get connected to me. I'm not able to somewhat analyze which events he's participating in, which events he's not participating in. I hope there is a proper plan with this team, and they are ready to execute that in the next year. But yes, there are a lot of question marks with him. For instance, if I talk about, he had a fantastic Asian Games where he was a part of the team event. He defeated Chi Uchi, who has been in imperious form in over the last second half of this year. He's made to the Asian Games final. He recently made it to the World Cup, World Tour finals as well, right? World Tour finals. So yeah, he's been in imperious form, and we also how easily Lakshay was able to beat Shiuchi. So yeah, the level of performance, the talent, all of that is there, but he's not picking up the right tournaments. He missed out on the Arctic Open. He entered but withdrew later on, and then we had a uh, then we had a European tour where he lost back to back round one. Then on the Asian swing, he lost three tournaments back to back in round one. Did not enter the Korean Open, which was again a smaller event. Did not enter the Syed Modi, which was again a Super 300 event. And there were a couple of Super 100 events also, which he could have entered just to consolidate his top 16 ranking, but for some reason known to him and his team, he hasn't been entering. And I don't know what's going on with their strategy. Maybe he wasn't keeping fit, or maybe he was down and out with his morale. But yeah, it's quite worrisome for Laksh.
Yeah, it's unclear वो हो क्या रहा है, but मतलब my best guess would be maybe there is some sort of fitness issue only, because even if you just look at the year other than the events not entered and the strategy and everything, even the performance has been like this way, then suddenly couple of months it went this way and then came back straight away.
Yeah.
And when it went up, we were given the reason he was having some breathing issues and he had some nose surgery or something. So we thought कि maybe he's resolved that and now he's doing well, because if you remember April में I think trials हुए थे for the Asian Games, March या April में whenever हुए थे, where he lost to even Shrikant. And then by the time the Asian Games came in September, we are like, okay, why is he not playing the singles ahead of Shrikant? He did so well in the team event at the Asian Games.
Mm.
And then post the Asian Games again, the graph fell off. The
Just before the Asian Games, he went to the North American tour where he won Canada Open and entered the final of the US Open,
exactly. So
which is when it felt that okay, his form is coming back now.
वो 2 महीने में ही अच्छा लगा and then suddenly just again fell off. So we don't really know क्या हो रहा है. But ठीक है.
Yeah.
Let's move ahead. Sindhu,
Yeah,
I guess, probably has had the worst year of her career. Maybe you can argue like 2014, 2015 when she was going through injuries. So maybe you can argue about that year. But other than that, I I don't think there's any doubt that she's had the worst year of her career. She was never somebody who wins tour event after tour event. He was always somebody who like gets to the quarters, gets to the semis, gets to the finals, but then she shows up at the big events like a world championship or like a Olympics or even like a world tour final or something. But yeah, then for the past couple of years, even that has not happened. And at this point, yeah, you and in her case at least she has been open saying it's not a fitness issue. That she is fit, but she's also not sure what's happening and why she's not being able to get her best form back. So
yeah.
पता नहीं क्या होगा, but
And the
देखते हैं.
gap, so the main thing is top six and Sindhu. The gap has been widening, and it has widened even further this year. She's not even coming close to competing against them. Probably a couple of matches against Marine where she was able to put up that fight. But otherwise, it's quite worrisome in terms of her level also. Even if she comes back, reaches, her top fitness, we'll have to see where her level is again.
Yeah. And I mean, I'll just add one thing. मतलब these days, सिंधु का मैच पहले जब होता था, at least I used to feel a lot of excitement. Okay, what is happening? Can she do it? Can she win? These days, it feels a little bit more apathetic. Yeah, ठीक है, maybe she can come back, maybe she can win, but hopes were whenever she's facing a decent opponent, it feels like most likely she's gonna go down only, which is a very sad
Yeah,
fact about a legendary athlete like her. But देखते हैं, maybe Olympics gets out the best in her again. उम्मीद पे दुनिया कायम है.
true,
But
true.
by the way, चैट में अलग ही कुछ चल रहा है. हम लोग इतना सा बात करें, चैट में ये चल रहा है चेस पोटे की नहीं है. ग्रेट.
हाँ, तो
मजे
इसमें
करो. हाँ हाँ, मजे करो.
आर्ग्यू आर्ग्यू करने वाली बात ही नहीं है कुछ.
हाँ ठीक है, आर्ग्यू करने वाली बात नहीं है, एक्सेप्ट कि ना तेरा आर्ग्यूमेंट अलग है, मेरा आर्ग्यूमेंट अलग है. परफेक्ट ना. चलो
Hello. You
आगे.
want to close out on badminton?
हाँ कल
Talking
ने
about Srikanth,
हाँ
where
कल.
you had high expectations. I don't know why.
Yeah, so I mean, I have given my explanation. By the way, besides Anandjit Naruka, Shrikant was the other guy जिसके बारे में we basically had a literal fight on the phone. कि Weber really didn't want to put Shrikant in here. I wanted to put him because मतलब the idea is कि you expect them to do something and they had bad years. Weber has got to the point where he's left all expectations with Shrikant. Okay, this is his level. This
And
is how he's
I
gonna
have
be.
my valid reasons. No, I am
हाँ
just simply seeing his performances and basing my expectations on those performances.
हाँ
He
so
has simply not been there, and that is why Shrikant for me has performed what was expected out of him this year. So for me, he's not a disappointment.
exactly. So the difference between me and Weber is basically the expectations with Shrikant. I am different in that sense. I had actually given up on Shrikant way back in 2019 or 2020 when he had that great year in 2017. Then 2018 was so-so, and then 2019 he fell off a cliff. And I was the one who had given up on him there. But then after COVID, he came back. It's not like he got to the top of the world or anything, but he did get a world championship silver, even though it was a COVID championship and the competition was not that high. He did very well in the Thomas Cup. Uske pehle there were a couple of Super 1000 events in Thailand which were contested well, where he did well. So it's not like he got right to the top, but he was on the upswing. So I am still hoping
In
that
2022, also, Kapil, his highest achievement outside of winning that one match in Thomas Cup against Christie was making it to the semi final of a Super 500.
एंटनसन
That
भूल
was
गया.
his highest achievement.
एंटनसन छोड़ दिया.
Anderson?
डेनमार्क को भी तो हराया था हमने
Anderson
सेमीफाइनल
as
में.
in?
एंडर्स एंटनसन को भी तो हराया था श्रीकांत ने डेनमार्क के सामने.
हाँ चल एंटनसन को भी हराया था दो
हाँ
लोग एंटनसन एनीवेज वाज टोटली आउट ऑफ फॉर्म ड्यूरिंग
या
दैट टाइम
हाँ सो वही
ठीक
बात
है
है
ही वाजंट इवन इन टॉप 15
नहीं नहीं
बट
ही वाज रैंक्ड हाई बट ही वाज आउट ऑफ फॉर्म. ही वाज रैंक्ड हाई आई थिंक बट
talking
आउट ऑफ
about
फॉर्म.
his individual achievement his highest performance was reaching a semi final of super
हाँ
500
हाँ
that's
या
that's about it
सो वही बात है. सो श्रीकांत देयर इज नो डाउट कि ही इज बैडली स्ट्रगलिंग. And the point which me and Webber differ on him is that Webber has given up on him. I still have hope that maybe he can come back at some point. But yeah, everybody has their own opinions. Uh, I think ये पोल डालने के लिए अच्छा टाइम है. Want to put a poll?
Definitely. Let's put a poll and check what
Uh,
majority of them think,
so
whether he was disappointment or up to his
नहीं,
expectations
so
only.
I am putting like can Shrikant make a comeback? Okay, so that
Oh,
is
okay.
okay. So I'll just put a poll कि can Shrikant make a comeback? Yes, no. Okay, yeah. So the poll is there. Uh, we don't have too many viewers today because हम लोग की stream थोड़ी late चालू हुई. We have like about 25. But yeah, guys, डालो vote जितना डाल डाल सकते हो.
Gush, I am still a Shri fanboy. There's no denying that. But just that purely watching his gameplay, it doesn't exude any confidence, to be honest.
Yeah,
वहां से होप चली गई है सारी बस.
ठीक है देखते हैं. Anyways, obviously people are with you only, even though there are barely like 9 votes, but yeah, people are with you only. ठीक है, let's move ahead. Rhythm Sangwan, yeah, another shooter who's again that the given that she competes in two events, and she's always been on the fringes. You hope to that she might have at a breakthrough at some point, but it's not happened this year as well. In fact, she's maybe gone a little down only. So that's why she's here. You want to add something?
Yeah. I think she was the only case in shooting specifically who kind of flattered to deceive. Uh, 595 मारा था इसी ईयर मारा था राइट इन 25 मीटर क्वालिफिकेशन which was the world record.
चेक कर लेता हूँ.
Yeah,
तो
I
बोलते
think
रहो.
इसी year ही था. Anyways, we all know her potential. It's great. The ceiling is really high. Just that over the last 6 8 months, she hasn't been on top of her game, and that is why she features here. Can still go in and win a quota, either in 10 meter or in 25 meter. Has potential in both the events. So yeah, let's see.
हम्म, तो क्या बोला था 25 मीटर राइट? वर्ल्ड कप में होगा ना?
Hmm. हाँ वो अनुभव says it was in May in Baku.
हाँ, ओके, ठीक है.
Yeah, I remember in Rapid it was a fantastic score of 299.
हम्म,
एक ही शॉट मिस किया था बस.
या मुझे कुछ कुछ याद आ रहा है ऐसा. बाकू वर्ल्ड कप क्वालिफिकेशन
राइट.
583 है मेरे सामने.
अच्छा तो मे बी कोई और होगा.
चेक कर, रिफ्रेश मार.
Hmm,
अभी बैक गाइस. अभी बैक प्लीज टेल मी वी आर बैक.
I think so.
नहीं नहीं, वेट या लेट मी जस्ट चेक. आई थिंक वी शुड बी बैक.
But I can see the
या सर,
slide.
हाँ सब
Yeah,
लोग यस यस
again.
यस बोल रहे हैं. या वी आर बैक. सो गाइस यू कैन सी क्या प्रॉब्लम हो रही है आज. आई डोंट नो क्यों हो रही है, but it is what it is. So bear with us. Hopefully we should be okay. Yeah.
What's the poll result?
Poll result कहाँ गया? Yeah. Poll is 16 votes आए हैं, 75% in your favor. मतलब she can't make a comeback. That's the poll.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Okay, should we move on?
ठीक है, चल रहा है तो मैं कुछ छेड़ूंगा नहीं. Okay, I'm not too sure, but ठीक है, as long as it's working, I won't touch it.
Yeah.
हाँ चल आगे बढ़.
Yeah, next, कौन रह गया? Maybe we can move on to athletics. uh, Starting with Avinash Sable. I know Avinash did win, 3,000 steeplechase in Asian Games. So again, it depends on how you position him in terms of what are the expectations. So if you feel the expectations from Avinash are that he should be among the top athletes in the world, then he's a disappointment. But if you see historically where the indians haven't been where Indians have been in this 3000 steeplechase, and Avinash has started producing medals at the global events, then you can still feel okay, he's at the top level. So it totally depends on how you want to perceive it. For me, his level is world class, but given the way he performed at World Championship, and also the fact that his main competitor in the Asian Games was missing. So I wouldn't count that too much. So yeah, he was a bit of disappointment.
I think the
What do you
biggest
think?
disappointment Ghum Firke is the World Championship, right?
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the main thing. But overall, also in terms of national record, they. I know we probably are taking it for granted also that okay, he'll keep on breaking national record after national record. But yeah, there was no progression as such for him this year.
ठीक है. Uh, Shelly Singh, I guess I can take again. I don't know if she's injured or not, but she seems to be like out of sight, out of mind, largely at the
Yeah,
moment.
and
Asian
simple.
Games
No, the
में
reason for that is Asian Games and World Championship, जहाँ पे she was expected to show some glimpses of having that potential, but again flattered to deceive.
yeah, triple jumpers. You want to talk triple jumpers? Also, there was basically some hype because I think it was more a case of numbers. Okay, we had like three or four triple jumpers all coming in. You had Praveen Chitrawal, you had Eldos Paul,
Hmm.
you had a couple of others. You had Mohammad Anis, Yaya, or fourth कौन था? Who's the one I'm missing? I think चार थे,
Mohammad
right?
Anis Yaya does long jump.
हाँ, okay, sorry.
Abdullah Abu Bakr is
हाँ,
there.
या और एक चौथा भी था कि तीन ही थे? तीन ही थे?
चौथा एक है उन्नी कृष्णन, but he hasn't been
हाँ,
very active internationally this year. So
हाँ, नहीं
we
नहीं तो
can
तीन ही थे मतलब I confused Mohammad Anis there. But yeah.
yeah.
So I think it was more the case that the numbers were coming, but I think individual performance wise, there was not too much hope in triple jump, anyways, right? I'm not sure.
I would just say the hope was there because they were doing 17 plus here and there. Okay. But when it was actually needed for them to go closer to 17, they were nowhere near both in Asian Games and in World Championship. Let's just point it out here that Praveen did win a bronze in Asian Games. So that is okay, definitely commendable. But yeah, still nowhere near to 17 meters. That's where the disappointment comes from.
Yeah. And yeah, by the way, we have had, I guess, our first super chat in Indian rupees from Ankush Agarwal. He's just saying, no question, just an appreciation for all the stuff you have been doing and are doing for small but passionate Indian Olympic sports community. No, it takes a lot to keep going. एक रुपया शगुन का for Paris 24.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Ankush. Thank you so
thanks
much.
Ankush. Yeah, we mainly do it for ourselves, guys. मतलब you guys are there, that's great. But हम लोग को भी मजा आता है इसलिए हम लोग करते हैं.
Yes,
ठीक है.
that's the main reason, and obviously, you know, live chat is a big reason which keeps us going because both of us love interacting, reading through the live chats, and वो Twitter पे भी चलता रहता है. Just that we sometimes move that those discussions to the live also. So yeah, it's good fun always.
Yeah. And चलो फिर लास्ट आई थिंक वो दो बचे सत्यन मानिका. Yeah, I mean सत्यन के केस में तो we can clearly see massive dip in rankings. मतलब ठीक है, you might say कि he was never expected to win like big medals at Olympics or even Asian Games or whatever, but just in a ranking perspective he's gone from like somewhere around 13 the world to some beyond 100. Again, one of those cases, worst year of the, probably the worst year of the career.
Yeah.
So उधर तो डिबेट ही नहीं है. You want to add?
Yeah, I think we have spoken about him in our Asian Games preview also. His ranking has dipped. He hasn't been showing any performances. There is no significant, result or even a proper match that where he might have, beaten a top player. Nothing. It's been a very how do I put it, subdued year for him. Likewise for Manika as well. I mean, she where she was last year winning that Asian Championship bronze. I think it was Kapil bronze. She won in the Asian Cup right last year,
Yeah,
where she
yes.
was on a winning spree,
No, no,
defeating
yeah, yeah.
one top 10 after another.
And ranking wise, she's actually improved quite a lot, huh? Because she used to
Hmm.
be like in the 60s and she's got herself to like the 30s or the 40s. So from that perspective, she's improved. But then at the
Yeah,
same time, the big events are not happening, right? Well, the
not
Asian Games
happening.
was a disaster. And it was not this year, but last year Commonwealth Games was a disaster. So that is the problem is there. And yeah, and just to conclude on Satyan also, matlab, ranking down dropping has also resulted कि now we it's very tough for us to get a team into the Olympics, because at least qualification wise that's what we were hoping. But with Satyan and Sharad both dropping their rankings heavily, that is also very difficult. And
True.
yeah, and Manika का भी वही हो रहा है, more like a you think कि maybe at some point she'll get into the top level, but it's not happening.
Right. So yeah,
Yeah.
I guess that overall sums up these two lists, which were of the for the sports person who were on the fringes.
Mm.
Now, I think we can move on to our main list now.
Yeah, so that is this, right?
Just before that, guys, anyone you think should be additionally included in these two lists? Any name specifically you have in mind? We missed out on it. Just feel free to add here.
You can also check our main list, which also actually has like about 20 people. So uh,
Yeah. The
that
the
is there.
idea here is obviously we are going to do a live top 10 ranking here. So we have a bucket of 20 athletes from which we are going to finally rank the top 10.
Yeah, and I'll just add one just concluding thing. There is debate in the chat about whether Satyan should just retire and let others take over. I mean, I don't get this debate in an individual sport. It's not like Satyan is taking a spot away from somebody else. It's not cricket, right? कि जहाँ पे
Yeah.
you have a old player who's maybe past his best but still playing and
This is the
taking a
best we
spot
have.
for
Simple.
taking a spot from a young player. It's individual sport. Both of them can play. Satyan is not hampering Harmeet in any way. So that's the thing. Yeah. ठीक है चल. You
Okay.
want take it over. You wanted to take this over. कैसे करना है? बोलो.
Nahi, I mean, I'm open for suggestions. I think the best way to go about this for this would be let's take a bottom up approach.
ठीक है.
Let's see how many we can simply exclude from the list so that we can narrow it down to, let's say, top 12 and 13. We'll see how we come to that,
ठीक है.
and we'll take it forward from there. So I think let's start it this way, Kapil. First, let's start excluding the ones which are clear for us who can be excluded. So probably I'll start. I'll remove a couple of uh, players which I feel should definitely not be there in top 10. Then maybe you go and pick a couple of others. If
ठीक है.
both of us agree, then we'll just simply remove it from the top 10. Is that okay?
ठीक है. मतलब they can stay on the slide, but yeah, we have removed them. Or I'll just move them to
Yeah.
the this last list or something.
But do something to mark them, right? So that we know, okay, they are not supposed to be considered in the top 10 list.
ठीक है. तो बोलो you were removing ना a couple.
Uh, you will have to do that, no?
हाँ नहीं. ठीक है. Names start.
You're asking me to start. Okay.
हाँ start कर.
ठीक है, ठीक है. I think I'll start with the easiest ones. So I think the reason we have Nishant Dev and Deepak Bhoria here is because both of them ended up with a medal in World Championship boxing, and that's a big enough reason for them to feature here. Now, the fact that we all know how IBA's World Boxing events have been conducting, and also the fact that for Deepak and Nishant, more than the World Championship this year, the main event were supposedly Asian Games. Forget about fans' expectations or what federation says. Just from athletes' perspective, also that was the single biggest goal for them this year, which is when which is where they did not perform up to the mark. So with a combination of both these reasons, I think they are of worthy mention here in this top 20 pool, but definitely shouldn't be ranked in the top 10 list. What do you think?
Yeah, so I'll just add. So for me, so let's look at Nishant first. So Nishant, for me, obviously he got the bronze at the World Championship. He also did beat a Cuban. He also did beat a Cuban, which is something. It is. I have not
Significant,
seen.
yeah.
I have not seen Indian do any time. Okay, first time I have ever seen Indian beat a Cuban in any amateur boxing proper event. Okay, let's not count the smaller events where multiple boxers are allowed and all those
But
things.
I don't think he was the Cuban
Yeah,
number one. No?
yeah. Matlab, he was the Cuban number one in that category, but that category itself is like one of the weakest categories of Cuba.
Hmm.
जितना मुझे समझ में आया था. So he
Okay.
was kind of the number one in their category, but category weak है Cuba की. So, but yeah, but he still beat a Cuban. And the other reason for me, Nishant Davis here is that we didn't even know his name last year. So this is like his breakthrough year, and we didn't actually even know anybody else in his category till last year. Really, his category was not really considered somewhere where we were, had high hopes or something. And so he came and he bowed. And even if you look at the Asian Games, he's actually lost to a very top level competitor. He lost to that Okazawa from Japan, right?
Japan, yeah.
Who is a former world champion who beat Indians might remember him beating Vikas in Tokyo only, right? In Rio.
Tokyo, yes.
Beating Vikas in Tokyo. So the thing is, he got a very bad draw. But yeah, eventually, Ghoom Firke, the main aim of the year was to win the quota, which did not happen. So we can't put him as one of the 10 who had the 10 guys who had the best years this year. But yeah, I think he deserved a mention here mainly because he's broken through, and his loss in Asian Games is sort of understandable because it came against a very top boxer. And Deepak Bhoya again is similar. He lost to the Japanese again. I think Tomoya Suboi in Asian Games. Again, his was one of the
Yeah, but
most.
I think for Deepak it does differ is especially because if when you consider the shoes that he's stepping in,
Huh.
he is a direct competitor to Amit, and we have seen the levels that the benchmarks that Amit has set.
Yeah, true. But
51 category, you are going in as a defending champion, and that too, Amit has been a former silver world championship silver medalist. And when you're not even able, regardless of the draw, if you're not able to win a medal, forget silver, bronze, silver or gold, but if you're not able to win a medal only in Asian Games, that has to be a bit of disappointment for sure.
yeah. I mean, it's definitely a disappointment. But I will not say that just we should be looking at whether the medal was won or not. For the simple reason that boxing is heavily dependent on draw. So it's like if Amit also comes up against a Zoirov in the first round. And by the way, the draws were blind. Huh? There were no seeding this time in Asian Games because of the entire IBA and the IOC situation. So even if you have, let's say, an Amit coming up against a Zoirov or against that Colombian who beat him in the
See,
Olympics.
I just one thing, Kapil here. I don't think we should be focusing a lot on boxing is heavily dependent on draw
It,
for all the boxers, right?
it is, yeah.
Uzbeks and Kazakhs won't say that they won't look at the draw and say, okay, this is how my draw is and this is where I am going to end up.
But that
Especially for boxers like Deepak, I don't think we should be talking about draws here.
But that is the sad part of our story, right? Matlab, Uzbek and Kazakh are pretty much one and two, and then we, along with maybe Japan
No,
and
but when he's
another country, comes
beating,
like there.
he's shown that glimpse that he has been able to beat Uzbek and Kazakh
Yeah.
previously in other tournaments. So why would you even consider the draw in that case?
So I am agreeing with you in that. Okay, even I'm saying he should not be in the top 10. In that discussion, I'm agreeing with you. But yeah, I give him a pass in the sense that the draw was exceedingly tough, and he did have the World Championship bronze.
Yeah.
So I think
Ah,
thoda.
obviously, that's the reason he is in the list.
Uh,
World Championship bronze in itself is a big deal for sure.
hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah, so I'm just giving for example, why are if you look at Deepak, Nishant, and Hussam, for example, those were the three bronze medalists in the World Championships, right? Deepak and
mm,
Nishant are here. Hussam was in our previous list because Hussam just got injured later,
yeah,
and we don't know what's happening. Nishant for me was a case that at least he had a breakthrough year in the sense that we didn't even know who he was last year. And Deepak for me, the other point again is related to Amit Pangal only that at least this year, so far he's established himself as the number one boxer in the category. Now you
mm.
might say कि had Amit Pangal come in, he may have done better. He may have got the
No, but
quota. We don't know.
Amit is still around.
Yeah, but the coaches have clearly shown that they prefer Deepak clearly, not even like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
closely. They prefer Deepak clearly this year. And again, वो छोटे मोटे इवेंट्स में he's in general done well, right? His
Yeah, yeah. My point is also that he's been able to keep Amit at bay, so that does kind of add in his favor that okay, he's
yeah,
not allowing Amit to enter the national squad, and yeah, that is why he's definitely one of our top performing sports person in
yeah,
India.
yeah. But in general, I think we agree that Deepak and Nishant will probably not make the top 10 here, and they are anyways to the lower bottom, so we'll keep them there. Uh,
So what have you done? Have you highlighted them or removed them?
no, so I'm
What
thinking
are
what
we
we are
doing?
removing, I'll keep putting in the third column. So they are already there in the third column.
Or maybe just simply highlight if you're able to.
ठीक है ना, आई थिंक इट्स ओके यहाँ पे मतलब ऐसे चाहिए तो थोड़ा
कंफ्यूजन होगा ना बिकॉज
चल ऐसे थोड़ा सा ये कर देते हैं
पूरा वो
ऐसा लाइक
स्पेस में आ नहीं पाएगा जस्ट
चल
सिंपली हाईलाइट दोज टू
हाईलाइट मतलब यू वांट अ डिफरेंट कलर और समथिंग
हाँ वट एवर
ठीक है बट
और जस्ट मे बी रिड्यूस द बॉक्स दैट्स ऑल
आई थिंक ठीक है ना इट्स ओके यहाँ पे पड़े ना इन द एंड इट्स
अच्छा
फाइन
ठीक है कूल
ठीक है
सो या गो ऑन पिक नेक्स्ट टू हु शुडंट बी इन द टॉप 10
shouldn't be in the top 10 right okay chalo so I think I'll start with Bhavani Devi. uh, I was just looking at the results by the way yeah fencing is now one sport which it's not like we follow very strongly so that is there. I'm trying to get ये क्यों नहीं आया है एक सेकेंड या देयर इट इज सो भवानी देवी का मैंने निकाला था okay so these are the results so mainly first of all the reason Bhavani Devi is in this list is this one performance okay which is the bronze medal in the Asian Championships and if you look at a bronze medal in the Asian Championships यार अबे कहाँ गया चलो ठीक है I'll click it here like this so
ठीक है इट्स ओके वी कैन
हाँ ठीक है
कंटिन्यू
yeah so if you look at the results she got a bronze medal in the Asian Championship and the big part here was she actually beat you had said world number one but at least what I saw here she was apparently world number two she beat the Japanese.
द रेनिंग वर्ल्ड चैंपियन आई थिंक
Okay so she beat the reigning world champion in the quarterfinals so that is her one breakthrough performance which is here Misaki Emura I checked she is currently world number three and so based on that this really becomes a breakthrough performance
Yeah.
उसके
There,
अलावा
there
if
are
you
a few more achievements mentioned in the live chat couple.
बोलो
Samrat says that there were a few satellite events where she
yeah
finished fifth and third
हाँ
as well in
but
Jordan.
then again satellite events I'm not too sure they're the biggest events but if you look at the big events for example let's say 2023 में देखो so these are the results right so 69th 26th 89th
Yeah,
72 56 ये एक है 3 57 then we move here 2023 2024 and you have these satellite events but I'm not too sure how strong they are
yeah,
so I don't think they are the strongest out there 5 3
yeah.
5 and then World Cup में again 68 in the end so
Mm.
so good year and if
No,
you
for
even look at this
Bhavani, it's again because she's single-handedly keeping
yeah
the
carrying the fencing
flag of
torch
archery. Huh, right.
not archery fencing but हाँ
Sorry, fencing. Yeah.
एक एक दो और भी फेंसर्स आए हैं जो आई थिंक हैव डन डिसेंट बट या दे आर नॉट एट
Hmm.
भवानी
Karan
लेवल
Singh is doing good. Yeah.
आई थिंक एपी वेपी में भी एक दो हैं तनीषा खत्री और समवन आई एम नॉट टू श्योर बट एक दो मैंने देखे थे नॉट मतलब लेट्स से दे वर नॉट बैड लेट्स पुट इट दैट वे इट्स नॉट यू कैन कंपेयर देम विद भवानी दो सो
Yep.
बट या सो एक परफॉर्मेंस एंड इफ यू मैंने इसका फील्ड भी देखा था सो इफ यू जस्ट सी द फील्ड this is the field of the Asian Championships. So there was this Misaki Imura who was world number two. But उसके अलावा मतलब the Asian field is not the strongest in Asia. मतलब fencing field is not the strongest in Asia. So Bhavani herself is based on rankings like the seventh seed, and all these are close. So मतलब worthy of a mention. I've started the stream. Let's see things coming. यहाँ पे यहाँ पे okay. देख आया क्या? I think we should be there.
It's back, I think.
It's
I
back.
can see the slide. It's back. It's back.
You can see the changing ना? हाँ
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
हाँ ठीक है. So yeah. So Bhavani Devi, we can, make it. We are agreeing, right? Huh? So you give your thoughts on Bhavani Devi.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. So I was just saying that because she continues to perform, have those breakthrough performances, that was the reason she made it to the list, winning the bronze in Asian Championship, beating the former world champion. But otherwise, there's if you see where she positions, gets positioned in the global level, still there is some gap to fill there. So yeah, shouldn't, relatively speaking, should not be a part of the top 10 list.
Yeah, ठीक है उसके अलावा फिर from my perspective I guess I'll say Parul Chaudhary again. You are the athletics expert so you know more, but matlab she's done very well and she's come along very well, but at the same time nowhere near the global level, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, so what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I would also agree. The firstly talking about the reason she's here, the biggest of them all is that she shattered the national record, that too performing at the highest level in World Championship final where she finished top 10, I think top 10 position it was. So that's one of the biggest achievement. And then Asian Games again, she was going against the world champion, finished with a silver medal in 3000 meter steeplechase, but then surprised everyone with that 5000-meter gold.
Yeah, that I
Right?
remember. That was the one of the moments of the Asian Games and kind of the moments of the year.
Correct, correct. So yeah, she was one of those rare athletes who won couple of medals in athletics in Asian Games, and that is why she does feature here. But if you see where her level is in terms of the world elite, so yes, there is still a gap there, and yeah, even I think she shouldn't be there in the top 10 at least. So we can actually remove her.
Okay, so Parul Chaudhary also comes here. शीश ये इनको थोड़ा ऊपर कर देता हूँ. मैन हॉकी goes up. तेरा next है.
Okay, interesting. Um, so I will pick. I'll go with. Okay, since we are on athletics, I'll go with Sri Shankar. I don't think he should be a part of top 10. The only reason being that we all know the world championship, which were a big disappointment. You know, he wasn't able to qualify and did not reach 8 meter mark. While throughout the year he has been among top five long jumpers, I would say, in terms of his performances. So kind of disappointed with that world championship where he was supposed to be, among medal contenders. But then came back, won Asian Games silver. Previous to that, he already had won a Asian Championship silver. Had been featuring among top 10, top 5, top 3 in diamond leagues also. And then 830, 840 obviously is a world class long jump mark. But is it good enough for a top 10 rank among Indian athletes? I don't think so. What do you
Okay.
think?
Yeah, I mean, I largely agree. मतलब again मेरे लिए the biggest thing becomes कि the world championship पे he didn't do too well. And I think in general, Sri Shankar, even in terms of Olympic medal hopes, maybe you have more hopes than I do. I think he's doing well, but at the same time, the consistency is not there.
Yeah.
And yeah, so at least to me, he's a prospect, but he doesn't quite excite so much as of yet.
Hmm.
So
See, the thing is, I would say consistency is there. At least the way 2023 went for him, he was pretty consistent. Just that that world championship performance has clouded everything else for him.
hmm,
That was one place where he had to shine, but he couldn't. And that's where your major opinion for a Olympic medal contention also gets formed.
yeah, because especially in our case, we evaluate the opposition often based on the size of the event, right? We don't
Yeah.
exactly know, because it's not like we are following everything and uh, एनीथिंग, सो उसमें फिर वो ऑपोजिशन का भी फैक्टर आ जाता है, बट या ठीक है, अग्रीड विद श्री शंकर गोइंग देयर।
Yep. Next I would pick is okay. It's getting interesting, huh? I'm anticipating like disagreement आने वाले बहुत जल्दी.
ठीक है, इफ यू आर एंटिसिपेटिंग तो चल मैं पिक कर लूँ एक नेक्स्ट।
नहीं नहीं मेरे को पिक करने दे फिर नेक्स्ट दो तू पिक करना.
हाँ बोल।
So next I'll go with because I feel again it's an easier one जो exclude होगा ही होगा. I'll go with Mehuli.
अच्छा, मैं वहीं जा रहा था, आई वाज गोइंग एट द सेम प्लेस।
Okay, cool. So we do have an agreement there. Mehuli ka simple look again. She features here because she has a world championship medal to her. She won the quota there, and then she's been consistently ranked India number one in air rifle women. The reason for that is obviously she's performing well at domestic level as well as internationally. There was one particular World Cup where I think she shot 635.6 or 7. I don't remember exactly, which was like which was a crazy score, right? It's almost like world record. Yeah, that is again one of the achievements to her. Missed out on the medal very closely in the Asian Games, finished fourth. So that is again, a close miss there. Yeah, all in all, considering all of these factors, she I don't think should be a part of the top 10 list at least.
Yeah, and I'll just add, last event of the year, the World Cup final. I think the qualification was pretty low. So, matlab, honestly, to me, Meoli seemed like one of the rifle girls only. So we discussed Namita earlier, we discussed Tilotama earlier. She's at a similar level. It just happened to be, there's a world championship medal. So she came here, they came there. But yeah, top 10 में थोड़ा मुश्किल ही है
Yep.
Meoli का. So
Yeah.
yeah, agreed on Meholi. Okay.
Yeah.
So by the way, we already down to 14. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
तो अभी क्या करना है? लेट्स सी, और किसको कर सकते हैं? Hmm. Yeah, I'm not too sure now whether. अच्छा ठीक है, I'll say I don't think men 4x400 will come for me. Again, same reason ke in at a global level, I don't have much hopes. I know that one performance where they ran USA close in the heat, and it was also a national record, Asian record, right? Not just national record, Asian record.
Yeah.
Correct? Yeah. So they ran USA very close, and it was a nation record. That was an awesome performance, and it's great to see them, come back. I do hope. सरवना कुमार कपिल पूछ रहे हैं कि भैया I'm audible ना? सब कुछ ठीक है ना? Yeah, I think
I
I'm
think
good.
that's related to some other question.
अच्छा ठीक है. So
Nitya Ramaraj.
अच्छा, वित्तिया रामराज. ओके, काइंडली मेंशन वित्तिया रामराज. ठीक है, you can talk about वित्तिया रामराज. But yeah,
Right now we are on top 20 list, no? So obviously she can't feature in top 20 list, even though she did well in Asian Games. But it's a relative equation, no?
या सो मेन रिले में वो ही बोल रहा था, ग्रेट अपस्विंग, लेट्स पुट इट दैट वे. But yeah, I at least don't have much hopes from Olympics. Maybe they can sneak into the final. That is my best hope. And yeah, ठीक है. I know there is that thing where relay, you maybe, because it's athletics and because it's a team relay rather than an individual, you can maybe value that higher than because as a country achievement, it's a bigger thing than one guy doing very well. So that is there. But yeah, looking at the rest of the list, I think maybe just outside the top 10. No,
Yeah, I can't disagree more with you.
can't disagree
Forget
more.
forget about everything. Be it that them representing India, World Championship, okay, Asian record you rightly pointed out. I don't even consider they ran close to the US. That's okay. But what was the ultimate position that they ended up with? So it was fifth position, right?
Hmm.
So firstly, if you're finishing among top five in a World Athletic Championship, that does that you have to consider because we actually haven't had those high finishes in World Championship history of entire World Championship. Secondly, let's not forget Asian Games also, where there have been decent teams Japan, Qatar, there were decent teams there. China, they were able to win a gold there as well, right? So I don't think we should be excluding them. Okay, let me twist this question and ask you, if you have to pick between men's 4x4 relay and Kishore Jena,
Hmm.
whom are you going to pick?
I have more hopes of Kishore Jana.
No, no. So why are we talking about from whom you have more hopes? That's not this list is all about, right? This is a retrospective list ki who performed well in 2023.
Valid point. Yeah, valid point. If you look at the rankings, but then Kishore also was like fifth in the world championship, wasn't he?
He was
Fifth or
ninth.
sixth?
He was
It,
ninth, eighth or ninth.
there were
I
two
think
Indian.
seventh or eighth.
No, yeah, there were two Indians who were fifth and sixth. Right?
मन्नू हाँ डीपी मन्नू था
And Kishore
जो
Jana
ले
tha.
चुके हाँ सो ही डेफिनेटली वाजंट इन टॉप 5
Sixth होगा, fifth and sixth
चल
थे.
देख रहा हूँ एक बारी में हाँ किशोर वाज फिफ्थ ठीक है
हाँ,
किशोर वाज फिफ्थ
तो
बट
सेम ही
देन
हो
इफ
गया
यू
ना.
कंपेयर सेम नहीं हुआ ना
Hmm.
एशियन गेम्स ही हैज अ सिल्वर
Yeah, Kishore
रिले
Jana
टीम
just.
हैज अ रिले टीम हैज अ गोल्ड
Yeah, but
एप्पल टू एप्पल
yeah, but our gold is also Indian, so that's fine. Kishore Jana के event में the gold is also Indian, so for me
अरे
that's
बट
fine.
यहाँ पे कंपैरिजन इज रिले टीम वर्सेस किशोर राइट
हाँ, so
so if you have to pick between the two there is a fifth position in world championship
hmm.
which is ठीक है which cancels out and there is a Asian gold versus Asian silver simple.
Yeah, so my counterpoint there will be कि in terms of the actual level of performance, I will say Kishore has a better chance at the Worlds, at the Olympics and at the global events than relay. That's what I feel. मतलब ठीक
Why
है,
is that
Asian में
so?
you are saying
if
कि
if Indian team does 259 again they are also in for a medal.
are they?
Yes, why not?
ठीक है, if you are saying so. I'm not too sure. Last time कितना था medal?
See,
You can check.
here again we are anticipating things,
हाँ, but
just
last.
purely talking from a achievement perspective. I think so one of
नहीं
them
मतलब
has to.
I will say achievement perspective in terms of, okay, one is achievement perspective in terms of ranking. The other is achievement perspective in terms of the time slash distance or whatever.
Yeah,
So so
it's comparable I think.
so so at least to me, and maybe this is just because we follow javelin more because we know Neeraj is there. So to me, the throw he threw what 86, 87, something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and he threw similar 84, 85 at World Championships also, I think, or maybe
84.
83, 84.
Yeah,
Huh.
84-77. Yeah.
So to me, those throws seem more impressive than maybe the relay times. But then you know better about the relay times, and
Yeah,
also the
that's what I say
same
that.
was not repeated. Also,
Yeah, for me it's comparable. So both World Championship and their timings or the performances are comparable. The only differentiating factor here then becomes Asian Games medal, which kind of differentiates. But I think this is the right opportunity for me. One of them should be making into the top 10 list because they are very close. Maybe we can conduct a poll and let the viewers decide who should make it. As
yeah,
simple as that.
yeah. So perfect opportunity for the poll. I was already writing it. Yeah, so
Hmm.
I'm just putting question as who should be ranked higher. So this is not like whether they should be in top 10 or not. That depends on others as well. We are just putting who should be ranked higher, Kishore or men 4x4 relay team. So
Yeah.
I'm
Also, we
starting.
have a super chat from Anubhav. How much to put Jenna in top 10?
Hmm. How much to put Jera? Oh, no, Anubhav, अभी तो vote कर दो. By the way, I'll say it is our biggest super chat so far, $10. Uh, yeah. ठीक है, $10 है, but okay. हर सुपर चैट में मैं कुछ डाल देता हूँ, राइट?
This is
फर्स्ट सुपर
fun.
चैट, फर्स्ट सुपर चैट इन इंडियन रुपीज, बिगेस्ट सुपर चैट, कुछ ना कुछ डाल देता हूँ मैं हर बार.
Hmm. All this time I the only reason I know about super chat is because my nephew keeps on coming to me and talks to me about super chat कि मैं उसका ब्लॉगर का देख रहा था उसने ये सुपर चैट डाला वो सुपर चैट डाला बिफोर दैट आई डिडंट इवन नो व्हाट अ सुपर चैट इज.
वो तो यार डिफरेंस वही है ना, तू हार्डली लाइव स्ट्रीम्स देखता है, मैं फुल टाइम बैठ के लाइव स्ट्रीम ही देखता रहता हूँ. तो
Yeah.
वो फर्क है ना. बाय द वे, यू नो, a 15th vote just came in, but at
Mm-hmm.
14 votes it was 50-50. सात वोट इधर, सात वोट इधर.
Okay,
A,
interesting.
a 15th vote has just come in, which has put you slightly ahead, but we'll wait a little. So let's keep them both. Let's do someone else, na then. in the meantime.
Yeah,
थोड़ी देर ये
let's.
पोल चलने दे. हाँ, let's
हाँ ठीक है.
do someone else. uh, want to
ठीक है.
क्या करना
It
आदित्य?
was you who was going, right?
हाँ,
तो
I
तेरा
was.
एक हो गया. ये this was your second.
Yeah, this was supposed to be second, but it's gone into the poll. So if you want, you can go ahead. कहाँ पे किस पे
Who
बात
was
करना
the first one for you?
नहीं नहीं, फर्स्ट ही था इनफैक्ट मेरा ये मेहुली घोष तूने ही डाला
Okay.
था, बट आई सेड इवन आई वाज गोइंग देयर, सो दैट इज
Okay,
द वन.
okay. So who's next then?
Hmm, I don't know. I'm thinking either between Aditi Ashok और ईशा सिंह. क्या लेना है?
You tell me.
चल ठीक है, let's do Aditi Ashok. I'm honestly not sure about her. So that's why, because even I am a little confused, क्योंकि again वही बात है कि golf we don't follow that much.
Mm-hmm.
So let's do Aditi Ashok first. I will just say कि I was seeing, and results wise hopefully this Chrome thing comes up. But एक second, let me just get this up. Eh, eh, oh, वाले side नहीं है, किधर गया? हाँ, yeah, this is the one. Yeah. So इसमें, yeah, this is what I took out for the Aditi Ashok. So Aditi Ashoka, the biggest thing you can notice is at the beginning of the year, around year Jan May, she is ranked somewhere in the 190s. Okay,
Yeah.
and she has gone all the way up to 40 this year,
Yeah. Even I saw that.
which is a massive jump. And I was
It
seeing the
is a
results,
massive journey, no
and yeah,
doubt.
and the results are also honestly pretty phenomenal, especially in terms of golf. So if you see, she had basically a great start to the year. Second year, third year, first year. Okay, these are what saw, but they are like Saudi may event, Kenya may event. I don't know where this Mariam is. And then another second tide, fifth tide, fourth tide, eighth tide, seventh tide, and then ऊपर आके एक last to end of the year Spain में another event. So I mean, so मतलब as a layman looking at this, it just seems phenomenal. But
Yeah.
yeah, but problem वही again, we don't follow golf that much, so वो वाला एक problem हो जाता है कि we are not sure. Samrat is saying कि LPGA is bigger than LET, and I think the major results are in LPGA in LET, right?
LET, yes. Yes.
So
It's in
yeah,
the European tour.
सो LET में 1 2 3 है, फिर LPGA में, लेकिन LPGA में भी लेकिन एक सेकंड टाइड है, फिफ्थ टाइड है, फोर्थ टाइड है, टाइटल नहीं है. But yeah, even though I raised her, I think looking at this, I think she might make the top 10 at this point.
Uh, I would. थोड़ा जल्दी भी करते हैं.
हाँ वो तो, बट बार बार अटक रहा है ना.
टॉप 10 पे भी नहीं पहुंचे अभी तो.
हाँ लेकिन अटक रहा है तो करेंगे क्या. देख क्या हालत है अभी.
आई थिंक इट्स बैक.
बैक गाइस, back. You guys should
यस.
do more stream. Aditya Ashok is giving a best. Yeah, looks like it's back. Yeah, sorry guys about this. I have no idea ये आज क्यों हो रहा है. We have not had this issue earlier, but आज बार बार ही हो रहा है. The only good part I guess is कि at least जब जाता है we are able to come back in like seconds or maybe a minute or so. So that is the good part. But yeah, I have no idea कि ये आज बार बार क्यों हो रहा है. Anyways, हाँ, go ahead. You were talking about Aditya Ashok.
Yeah, yeah. So no, I was just saying all valid points. The only fact that if you see from a Indian context, yes, she's going where nobody has ever gone before. But when you start, looking in a relative term, comparing it, comparing her with rest of the pool, I don't think she should be making to the top 10. And the growth in ranking has been phenomenal, agree, but still it is 48 at the end of the day, right? It's not like she's absolutely in the world elite. Whereas the ones which will ultimately fall in top 10, they are going to be among world elite only. Simply because of that reason, I don't think she should be there in top 10.
But it is golf also, right? I mean, golf is a very highly competitive sport. So
It is, no doubt.
हाँ नहीं, the only thing मतलब the reason I'm saying is कि golf is a highly competitive sport के I think the top, if not 40, at least 30 35 you can say are elite, where maybe in other sports you'll say only the top 10 15 are elite. So
Hmm.
I'm not sure about that one. And
Yeah.
by the way, I saw Olympic perspective say, if you look at the rankings, there are like a lot of people from the same countries above us. So it's like USA ki पाँच छः होगी, कोरिया की पाँच छः होगी, तो उस
हाँ
हिसाब
तो वो
से।
तो है ही ना, इट्स अ प्रो टूर तो।
हाँ नहीं तो मतलब माय पॉइंट इज ओलंपिक रैंकिंग में अगर तुम लगाओगे कि लेट्स ओनली टू पर कंट्री आर अलाउड एट द ओलंपिक, शी माइट वेरी वेल, आई डोंट नो व्हाट शी इज, बट शी माइट वेरी वेल बी इन लाइक टॉप 20 और समथिंग।
हम्म।
But ठीक है, anyways, so by the way, we have I guess 25 votes पे we can stop the poll now. So you have won the men 4x400 relay team. Okay. So
Okay.
you are saying that they should be there. So
So yeah, maybe you can put Jenna then in the exclusion list.
okay, ठीक है, रुक जा. I got to work this out a little bit. Yeah. So ठीक है. So Jenna then we are putting in the exclusion list as of now.
Yeah.
Should I put men by 400 relay somewhere like 10, 9, 8 कहीं पे डाल दूँ? Random.
For me, they should be at number 10.
ठीक है, चल randomly मैं as of now 10 पे डाल देता हूँ.
Hmm.
So how about we just compare Aditi Ashok with men by 400 relay in the poll?
How are you going to compare? वो
Same.
बहुत रैंडम हो जाएगा ना.
हाँ but हम लोग करीब वो ही रहे ना. Who should be ranked higher? As simple.
Hmm.
That's what we are doing, right? We are comparing other sports.
Yeah, but there has to be some base of comparison also, right? It's just
नहीं
going
so
to be a very
नहीं so you are saying कि
high
men 4
level
by
one.
400 relay should go to 10 according to you, and
Hmm.
I am saying कि Aditi Ashok maybe should make 10, and you are saying कि
Hmm.
she should not. So then best way to compare this with
Yeah.
relay, na?
Uh, had you been confident that she should be making in top 10, then maybe we could have gone for a poll, but I think we can skip it. It's okay.
I think let's go for it.
अभी के लिए स्टैंड बाय पे रख ले.
अभी तक
If
स्टैंड बाय
needed, we
रखना है.
can. हाँ, स्टैंड बाय पे रख ले. If needed, we'll run a poll also.
ठीक है
So,
चल. So next name, let's discuss Isha Singh, I guess.
I think before Isha, for me, who the next to be excluded is men's hockey team.
Okay.
Uh, I know they won Asian Games, they won quota. Everyone is thinking about that, but let's not forget their
The World Cup.
performance in the World Cup.
You're
So
right.
simply by that reason, they should not be in the top 10, because Asian Games again, we know, they performed to their expectation, but again, majorly the level comes from Europe and Australia.
Yeah,
So
actually, I can't deny
simply by
that.
that reason.
Yeah, I had actually basically blocked out the World Cup, honestly.
Hmm.
मतलब honestly, just a story. मतलब वर्ल्ड कप में सिचुएशन ये थी कि इट वाज इन भुवनेश्वर. आई वाज गोना गो टू द वर्ल्ड कप. वी एंड हम लोग का प्लान था कि वी वेंट टू सुंदरबंस, देन वी वेंट टू कोलकाता, एंड देन आइडिया वाज सुंदरबंस एंड कोलकाता में घूमने के बाद वी वर गोना रीच द वर्ल्ड कप फॉर द quarters, and I had tickets for quarters, semis and finals, and they ended up losing to New Zealand only in round of 16. मतलब मेरे पहुंचने के पहले ही हार गए. So I've kind of blocked that out. But yeah, I agree. When you consider the World Cup, yeah, men hockey team cannot make it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
no question there. So yeah, we'll put there. So men hockey
So how
team,
many are we left with? I guess 12.
event here. Okay.
If we don't include Aditi, we are left with 12, right?
तीन दो पाँच सात दस बारह. Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Okay.
So you want to talk Isha Singh or you want to do Aditi poll या क्या करना है बोल?
Isha Singh, I don't think we can exclude her,
Hmm.
simply for the reasons that one, she has four medals in Asian Games,
Okay.
right? And then let's not forget she has a World Championship gold also, which she won in mixed
With
10 meters
Shiva Narwal, right? Who we
with
didn't
Shiva
even
Narwal.
mention, by the way.
Yes.
Another name which
So
could have been mentioned, but too many shooters.
again, straight out Olympic event gold in World Championship,
Hmm.
along with four Asian Games medals, and uh, it's a historic achievement. No woman shooter from India has won these many medals. Forget about four. Nobody has won three medals also in our Asian Games edition. So obviously, it's a commendable performance. And simply for those reasons, I think she definitely has to feature among top 10 list. What do you
Yeah,
think?
yeah. So I was just looking at it. Let me just put the slide there. Yeah. So this is what we have. बाकू में मिक्स टीम गोल्ड, कायरो नहीं, ओके 2022 हो गया. 2022 अच्छा नहीं, ये तो जूनियर है, ठीक है
नहीं है
चलो.
और कुछ सिग्निफिकेंट नहीं है इन्हीं दोनों के अलावा.
ओके. हम्म,
एशियन गेम्स यहाँ दिखाएगा नहीं आईएसएस
हाँ
का।
आई नो एशियन गेम्स यहाँ नहीं दिखाएगा, बट या ठीक है वर्ल्ड, बट ओके सो मतलब बेसिकली यू आर सेइंग एशियन गेम्स गोल्ड एंड दैट वन, मतलब एशियन गेम्स के 4 मेडल एंड दैट वन गोल्ड इन द वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप, राइट?
World Championship, yes, it's a big deal. If you see on papers,
Yeah, yeah,
it's huge.
I get it. World Championship gold is a big deal, but then if you compare the others, Nikhat and Lavlina both have World Championship golds.
Hmm.
Uh, ठीक है, अदर वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप गोल्ड्स तो नहीं है. नीरज चोपड़ा ऑब्वियसली हैज वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप गोल्ड. So
Hmm.
मतलब there are like four names here already with world championship gold.
Yeah.
Antim had a bronze, Sifth was fourth. Yeah, I mean ठीक है. I mean I definitely think if she's either out or she's just about in the bottom half. Not too
No,
sure.
I for me she should be in the top half of top 10.
ठीक है, if you're saying top half तो चलो at least for right now तो she's there. So
Hmm.
what other name then you want to consider? You want to consider like Bopanna or the Planoy? किसको लेना है?
Uh, I think I'll go with Aishwarya Pratap.
Hmm.
So
Okay, so no quota you were saying
I
basically.
yeah, no quota. Even more than that, okay, he also has 4 Asian games. Honestly, I'm very confused about Sifth and him. So either of those two should be making it to top 10. And the reason I am going for Sifat is because right now the level at which she's operating, it's totally unprecedented, and it's like she's going through a golden touch both domestically as well as internationally, although the sample size for her internationally is very small. But considering she got that huge world record in Asian
Hmm.
games, that amazing performance, and then Asian championship also she finished top, on the qualification list. Okay, she was a part of RPO, did not make it to the finals, but I actually counted. So in the national ranking list, if you see, Sifat has 12 consecutive 590 plus scores
Yeah, I
in
mean,
53P.
no, I agree. She's been incredible. Even in World Championship, she was fourth. मतलब it's not
World
like it,
championship again, she was fifth. Yeah,
fifth थी कि fourth थी, मे बी फिफ्थ होगी. ठीक है, fourth या
yeah,
fifth. Yeah, Sifat I agree. So between Aishwarya versus Sifat, I'm in agreement with you. And for me, another factor which comes in for Sifat is that she's like the clear 53p shooter at the moment.
yes. And
There is like
53P
an
used to be our weakest event just a
exactly
couple
50
of
the
years back.
woman, the 53p woman.
And
So
probably now, if you have to ask me to pick one, the strongest shooter from entire Indian shooting contingent,
hmm,
I'll close my eyes and pick Sifat.
हाँ,
That's where she's operating at.
yeah, yeah. The downside there is only small sample size, but
Hmm.
internationally. But
Yeah.
I agree. Sifat has to be there. So Sifat versus Aishwarya, I don't have a debate. The only question is, does Aishwarya make the top 10 or not? So I mean, if you want, I can put a three-way poll. Ki who should be ranked highest? Aditi, Aishwarya, and men relay, and then let's see what happens.
Sorry, come again.
So
Aditi.
so I can put a three-way poll. Just
Mm-hmm.
who should be ranked highest?
Mm-hmm.
Aditi, Aishwarya, or men relay, and
Okay,
then we
let's
take
do
it there.
that. Let's do that.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. So I'll just start a poll. Who should be ranked highest? Be ranked highest. Aditi.
Aishwarya, Aditi, and men's relay, right?
Right. Aditi Ashok, Aishwarya Tomar, and add option. Men 4 by 400 relay team. या सो पोल डाल दिया मैंने. ऐश्वर्या तोमर का वही प्रॉब्लम है कि थोड़ा it's a contradictory thing, right? One तो he has competed in two events which itself is a big deal, जो not many others are being able to do. I think he and Isha Singh are, ठीक है, you can put like Rhythm Sangwan or Manu Bhakkar or somewhere in there, but mainly he and Isha Singh are the only ones who are competing at a very high level in two events, so that
Hmm.
matters. But at the same time, yeah, the big thing about Aishwarya is he missed out on the quota, and he had two chances, so वो double हो जाता है वहाँ पे.
Yeah. Yeah, which is okay. The first chance was in 2022, which we shouldn't be considering.
Hmm.
Uh, for Aishwarya, yeah, he's
नहीं
just
नहीं
been
नहीं
there
double
and
chance. I
there.
mean he had chance in 10-meter rifle also, 50-meter rifle also, missed quota both ways. That's what I meant by a double chance.
Okay. Okay.
हाँ तो मतलब वो फिर वो थोड़ा नेगेटिव हो जाता है वहाँ पे, राइट? मतलब ऑन वन हैंड ही इज कम्पीटिंग इन टू इवेंट्स, but the other becomes ke he didn't get the quota. By the way,
Mm,
highest में Aditya Ashok is way ahead. 17 वोट आ गए हैं, and
okay.
Aditya Ashok is way ahead, and Aishwarya and Menrilia are totally locked in.
Mm.
अह, ठीक है। ईशा का हमने बात किया, वी सॉर्ट ऑफ अग्री, ओके मे बी शी कैन बी हायर। बाकी क्या करना है? प्रणॉय की बात करनी है। प्रणॉय आई गेस वी डिफर द लिटिल बिट ऑन हाउ हाई ही शुड बी,
Yeah,
और यू वांट।
Uh, Pranay for me definitely has to be in top 10 and like towards the bottom half of top 10, probably seventh or eighth.
ठीक है सर।
The reason obviously is a world championship bronze, Asian Games bronze, and a Super 500. So these are the three big achievements for him, which are decent, worthy enough of him to be making to the list.
Yeah, I'm on the same page. Somewhere in the bottom part of top 10. The counterpoints which I'll say is कि obviously Super 500 is great, but it's not Super 750 or 1000, which I feel are like at this moment equivalent of Super Series, what used to be Super Series, because now you have increased the number of things. तू हिल यार, तू हिलता रहा कर थोड़ा थोड़ा।
Mm-hmm.
तो एकदम शांत बैठ जाता है ना, मेरे को डर लगता है कि वापस अटक
No,
गया
no, I
क्या।
was listening. I was
हाँ
listening.
नहीं नहीं, मेरे को
Go
डर
on.
लगता है कि अटक गया वापस। कि तू एकदम
Okay.
एकदम स्टेशनरी हो जाता है ना, मुझे लगता है कि अटक गया वापस। So yeah, so I was saying, हाँ, so the downside is कि yeah, not in 750 or 1000, and I do feel कि he's not got over that same old problem which he has, कि does he have the stamina to get through a proper tournament? Because he always, seems to falter in the quarters and the semis. Even the 500 he won, the semi-final, the opponent retired hurt, right? If you remember.
I don't remember.
हाँ, so किसी भी इवेंट में तो हुआ था, बट फ्रॉम व्हाट आई रिमेम्बर, इवन द 500 ही वन, द सेमीफाइनल अपोनेंट रिटायर्ड हर्ट, सो
But
दैट।
Kapil, I don't think it's a stamina problem, especially for Pranoy, because he's the one who has been, doing a lot of three game
but
matches.
but then that is also the same thing, right? If he can't
The
finish off the games in two
Yeah,
events,
yeah. The problem is the consistency level that he's not able to maintain. And I think wo bhi gradually it has reduced quite a lot. Just that right now his level is of that of a top 10 ranked badminton player at which he's operating. But yes, stamina problem तो for sure नहीं है.
ठीक है, मे बी। बट एनी चल, आई थिंक कितना 24 वोट्स आ गए हैं, आई थिंक वी
Hmm.
कैन क्लोज द पोल। सो ऐश्वर्या तोमर इज लास्ट इन दिस वन, एंड
Hmm.
आदित्य अशोक इज हाईएस्ट।
Yeah.
सो आई थिंक
So I
शुड वी।
think in that case we'll have to replace relay team with Aditya Show. She has to be there in 10th position, no?
ठीक है चल, सो एज ऑफ नाउ लेट मी जस्ट एंड दिस पोल। आई थिंक आर पीपल स्टिल वोटिंग? आई थिंक रिजल्ट तो आ ही
Yeah,
गया
it's
हम लोग
okay.
का।
We can
हाँ
end on our discussion.
ठीक है, सो लेट मी जस्ट एंड दिस पोल। सो आई थिंक ऐश्वर्या तोमर डेफिनेटली गोज आउट। ओके, now where is the slide?
Yeah, I think relay will also go out then because we do have a lot of other sports person to be listed and उनका भी हट ही जाएगा.
कितने हुए गिन लो, तीन तीन छः तीन नौ, एंड व्हाट आर वी लेफ्ट विथ? 2 5 10, अच्छा 11। if we knock out the relay, then we are left with only 11, so if you
Only
want to।
11.
हाँ 11 ही बचे।
Hmm.
So then matlab it's like, make it, maybe we can put Aditya Ashok ninth for right now, and see if somebody else goes out, or do you think somebody else goes out, or will everybody else stay in?
Just give me a moment यार. मैं इधर अपने पीसी में देखता हूँ. ठीक है अभी के लिए रख लेते हैं 9th पे. It's okay.
Hmm. ठीक है, so now actually we have to start getting into the rankings, right?
Hmm.
So I
Right.
guess ठीक है, but I guess we can discuss Lohan Bopana then, right? That's the one name we haven't
Yeah.
discussed here.
Yeah. Actually, Bopanna, he was there in the back of my mind when you were doing this poll.
Hmm.
Because if I have to compare, for me, apple to apple comparison is a Bopanna versus Aditi because both of them operate on a pro tour, right?
Yeah.
And there we can compare कि ठीक है Bopanna has a couple of Grand Slam finals, He
Hmm.
has a Masters 1000 win under his belt.
Hmm.
As well as Asian Games में अगर आप देखोगे,
Hmm.
ठीक है, एमेच्योर में representing your country, there again he is better than Aditi.
Hmm.
He did win, a mixed doubles gold, no matter whatever level is, but he was the fundamental reason because of which we did win that mixed doubles gold, right?
Aditi was
So for
silver.
me,
मतलब Aditi was silver with a very bad last day.
yeah, yeah. So for me, if I am comparing Bopanna's achievement versus an Aditi Ashok's achievement in 2023, I would obviously rank Bopanna higher than Aditi.
Yeah, so Bopanna definitely, मतलब Bopanna is that one, feel good stories of the year. मतलब I at least had given up on him. या तू एकदम स्टेशनरी हो जाता है.
Mm-hmm. Go
हाँ
on.
मेरे को डर लगता है यार. सो
Arey, I was reading the chat.
हाँ हाँ ठीक है. सो आई या बोपन्ना इज वन ऑफ द फील गुड स्टोरीज ऑफ द ईयर. मतलब आई हैड प्रीटी मच गिवन अप ऑन हिम कि ओके ही इज लाइक 42 43, he's past his best, he's had a good career, that's fine, he's playing, he can continue to play, no problem. बट ये साल जो उसने किया है एंड इट केम आउट ऑफ नोवेयर फॉर मी. मतलब आई गिव यू वन एग्जांपल. जो मैं एवरी ईयर आई मेक दिस शेड्यूल राइट विच इज आल्सो पुट इन द कम्युनिटी पोस्ट ऑफ ओलंपिक्स ऑन माय माइंड. सो एवरी
Hmm.
ईयर आई मेक नेक्स्ट ईयर शेड्यूल. लास्ट ईयर मैंने टेनिस देखा भी नहीं. आई जस्ट पुट द ग्रैंड स्लैम्स क्योंकि दे आर ग्रैंड स्लैम्स एंड आई लेफ्ट इट. आई डेंट पुट द थाउजेंड इवेंट, आई डेंट पुट एनीथिंग एल्स. मैंने टेनिस का शेड्यूल देखा भी नहीं बिकॉज आई एम लाइक वी आर डन इन टेनिस. सो उस हिसाब से रोहन बोपन्ना कमिंग बैक इज अ ह्यूज अचीवमेंट एंड he's been on fire. uh, the the downside you can say एक तो यही है कि okay again it's a little bit case of nearly being there where he got a couple of Grand Slam finals but couldn't close it out, but then that's too high a barrier we are keeping. The other thing is from an Olympic perspective it still doesn't really help us because unfortunately he's just one and we need a doubles partner and we don't have that. So
Yeah.
from that Olympic perspective वो थोड़ा issue हो जाता है.
Yeah, but also to counter that, considering him having a fantastic 2023,
Hmm.
he's put himself in that position where he might end up, as a top 10 ranked player, and
नहीं he'll
he
qualify.
also no,
He
no,
हाँ.
he might end up top 10 where we might, be able to send two teams rather than one.
दो टीम कहाँ से भेजेंगे यार, रैंकिंग तो गिर गई थी.
Bopanna, if he's a top 10, he can choose pick his own partner, right? And
हाँ
if
बट
let's
और
say
कौन जा रहा
again
है.
दूसरा भामरी एंड साकेत की अगर रैंकिंग इंप्रूव होती रही, इवन दो दे आर विद डिफरेंट पार्टनर्स नाउ,
हाँ.
so then there again, if they decide to come back together, so then we can have another pair from them, right?
आई मीन
And that's down to Bopanna only.
आई एम थिंकिंग टोक्यो में भी डिडंट हैव अ सिंगल पेयर. आई डोंट थिंक वी आर गोइंग द टू पेयर रूट राइट नाउ. इवन अगर रैंकिंग इंप्रूव हो गई आई थिंक यू विल गिव द whoever is your best possible scenario you just give him to Rohan. I don't think you
Yeah,
should be
but there
sending
are
two teams.
possibilities. There
बट
are
एनीवेज चलो,
definitely
बट एनीवेज ओके
possibilities.
ठीक है वो दैट इज अ डिफरेंट डिस्कशन ऑल टुगेदर. मतलब इन माय ओपिनियन अगर दो टीम भेज सकते हैं तो भी नहीं भेजनी चाहिए. जस्ट गिव द बेस्ट पर्सन टू रोहन. I mean
Hmm.
that's how it should be, but that's a different discussion. But eventually, मतलब, do you think they can win the Olympic medal? Because problem ये है ना, he doesn't have a partner right now. And yeah, we'll just add Anubhav has chatted again, super chatted for $10, and I give first time every तो first person to give two super chats ये भी मैं ऐड कर देता हूँ because I always like to give first thing.
Well, let
And
me just
I see
respond to him. The only person you have to give a clock is to
Kapil,
Kapil
right?
Anubhav, so that he can put in front on his front wall and he can see the time
The fun fact
because
is
he crosses every time.
I actually have it on the front wall, but ठीक है. I
So
think we
you
should
deliberately choose to ignore it.
I think we should put a poll कि ज्यादा बोलता कौन है. मैं बोलता हूँ कि तू बोलता है, देन पता चलेगा. बट
Oh,
ठीक
come
है.
on. पोल की
आते
जरूरत ही नहीं
डालूं तब पता चलेगा.
है. ठीक है, चल.
ठीक है चल उसको छोड़
We are
तो.
anyways running
हाँ.
behind.
So anyways, तो ठीक है. So we agree with Rohan Bopanna. Between Aditya Ashok and him, yeah. Honestly, for me, I don't mind putting a poll. I don't have a strong horse there.
But
So
it's pretty evident, no, Kapil? We can't be putting a poll for everything,
तुझे लग रहा है
right?
रोहन बोपन्ना है यार?
आगे और भी इंसिडेंट्स आएंगे.
तुझे
हाँ
लग
हाँ
रहा है रोहन बोपन्ना है?
हाँ, ऑफ कोर्स.
ठीक है.
मतलब
ओके.
आदित्य अशोक से तो ऊपर ही रहेगा ना.
ओके नो प्रॉब्लम.
या.
चल. सो रोहन बोपन्ना को फिर एज ऑफ नाउ नंबर 8 पे डाल देते हैं. शुड वी गेट दिस डाउन टू 10 देन? मतलब मतलब is there anybody here who can compete with relay, or should we just get this down to 10 and make it?
Yeah, I would think so because if men's relay and Aditya Ashok, we are deciding between these two, so then men's relay has to go out because we definitely have other contenders.
हाँ, so मतलब
They're not
point
going to
यही है
win.
कि we have eight left on the slide, the main slide. Uh,
Hmm.
do you think anybody of them is going below men relay?
That's what. No, nobody. So
Nobody, right?
you can simply remove men's relay from the top 10 list and move Aditi to 10, and Rohan then can move to 9.
ठीक है, चलो. So अरे अब ये क्या हो गया? Okay, so Aditi goes here.
Good one, Anubhav. Good one.
क्या बोला भैया?
Gareth, so that you get to know that I'm not still and the clock is ticking.
हाँ ओके यार, दैट इज एक्चुअली अ वैलिड पॉइंट यार, क्योंकि आज इतनी बार ये क्रैश हो गया है ना, मेरा
Uh,
बीपी हाई हो जाता है whenever है ना, जब तू एकदम स्टिल बैठा रहता है.
you
आई
might
डोंट नो.
as well. Okay, I might as well buy one with pendulum then.
आई डोंट अंडरस्टैंड तू इतना स्टिल बैठता कैसे है यार, मैं तो हिलता ही रहता हूँ. Yes,
Okay, so
Sailesh
we
is
have
saying
then.
men 4x400 deserved it, but then Sailesh, who goes out? That's the point, na?
For me, in my mind, it's pretty clear. There's no comparison. But yeah, we go with the poll.
Hmm. Yeah, ठीक है. So now we have our 10 and 9. We have our top 8. तो now let's just see 8 पे कौन जा रहा है.
Yeah.
Uh,
For
I
me, if I have to pick, I'll go with Antim.
नहीं, not for me. मेरे समझ में अंतिम was excellent this year. Given everything, मतलब everything that was happening around wrestling and the fact के it is basically a first proper senior year. She's delivered both in she did well in Asian Championships as well. She got the quota as well. She's basically done she delivered in Asian Games as well.
Ultimately, she has a World Championship bronze, Asian Championship silver, and Asian Games silver, right?
Yeah, but also the youth, right? The youth and the fact that she did all this in first year. मतलब if you compare with विनेश फोगट को कितने 4 साल लगे थे, आई थिंक पहला वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप ब्रॉन्ज लेने के लिए.
दिनेश से क्यों कंपेयर करना है? हम तो
दे आर
रिलेटिव
द
यहाँ पे
सेम.
रैंक कर रहे हैं ना. थिंग्स हैव मूव्ड from when Vinesh used to be
नहीं, so for me
competing.
अंतिम definitely is higher. I'm thinking for me if there's a number 8 here, it's between Pranoy and Pranoy and Isha maybe. For me
Okay,
that's,
hold on. Also, let's not forget. So both of us agreed that Sifat
or
should be
maybe
in top 10.
uh,
But Sifat in ठीक है, she's operating at a very high level. But in terms of basic achievements on papers, there
मतलब
are
the
not
world
many.
record is the one. The world record is the one.
That's the only one, right? And Asian Games
But
gold
no,
and
but nobody has that world record. Huh? Even Neeraj Chopra doesn't have that world
yeah,
record,
but still, I
and it was
mean,
a
at
massive
this,
world record. It wasn't just
it
like
was, but it's
Pipi.
one off, Kapil. It's one off and in shooting. So
One off,
we
and but then she came through only in the second half of the year, right?
look this we are talking about year as a whole, and that has to be a big factor which has to be considered that throughout the year the how the performances has been and not just one particular event.
ठीक है. So तेरे हिसाब से सिर्फ should be 8th.
If not Antim, yes, then Sifat.
Okay, मेरे को तो लग रहा है सिर्फ and अंतिम both should be there. I am thinking more like Pranoy or Isha at 8.
See, again, Pranoy and Isha's achievements way heavier than Pranoy's, no?
So yeah, I'll go with Pranoy at 8. So I think yeah, it's a time for the poll. We
Okay,
can.
then ठीक है. If you want to do a poll, even before we do a poll, let's just compare Pranoy's achievement with Antim.
Okay.
Whom do you think
Oh,
should be higher?
okay, so now see, now the point here is how do you evaluate? Because the big difference here is Pranoy has like what 15 events in the year, something like that. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and Antim had what 3 or 4 events in the year.
Mm.
Plus you add in the entire backdrop of the wrestling protest, तो वो भी
But
आ
how
जाता
does
है.
that matter?
It
How does
does.
that matter to Antim?
Because it matters in terms of adversity, right? Because she overcame the adversity, which the
Look,
adversity created not
we
by
are
her.
not going into the external factors, right? Then for each individual athlete, there has to be injury considered, federation problems
हाँ, so
considered.
injury तो हमने consider की है. So many people were in our disappointment list just because they got injured, right? It's not in their hands.
For the ones who are in this top list, we are not considering external factors as such, right?
Uh, but ठीक है, I'm
Only
honestly
in
not
terms of
that.
achievement. My only point is only in terms of achievement. If you see, so
Hmm.
there is a world championship bronze to each of them, both
Asian
Pranoy and
Games,
Antim.
Asian Games belongs to each of them. Equal हो गया.
Asian Games, Antim has a bronze, Pranoy has a bronze, but
Equal हो
do
गया.
you consider badminton's Asian Games level equal to wrestling Asian Games level? It's
It's not.
absolutely not.
It's not equal, but Asian is pretty strong as well, especially in
But
women.
there is no comparison at
No,
all.
no, especially in women when you consider that there's Japan and
There's no comparison.
no, I disagree with that for the simple reason that eventually Antim lost to Japan. Japan is
Yeah,
by far the world best. So
yeah.
अगर Japan नहीं है, she could have very well been in the other half and got a silver.
So ऐसे तो
और
Pranoy had he not ran into Li Shifang, he would have won the gold.
हाँ, सो मुझे वो नहीं
There are
लगता है.
so many
हाँ, सो
possibilities.
मुझे वो नहीं लगता है. मुझे लगता है कि और कोई भी होगा तो ही इज नॉट एबल टू क्लोज दैट आउट.
Yeah,
मुझे लगता
so
है.
that
बट ठीक.
is why I think the poll that we should be running is between Pranoy and Antim, who should be, ranked higher. As
ठीक है.
per me, it definitely has to be Pranoy without any question.
ठीक है. Yeah, that's a proper poll. Start a poll. Who should be ranked higher? Okay. You want to add some more over there because अपने दूसरे भी अलग थे. I was putting maybe Isha in there. You were putting who?
I think let's not make it very very
Made it
complicated also ना
complicated.
बहुत
Yeah.
सारे PNC वो तो लगते रहेंगे हम सुबह के 4 बजे तक यहीं बैठे रहेंगे फिर
हाँ, वो भी ठीक है. चल, so who should be ranked higher? HS Planoy or अंतिम बंगाल? चल. Okay. The polls here. Uh, उसके अलावा फिर so we have talked about Isha, we have talked about Antim, we have talked about Sifat.
so let's say hypothetically let's say Pranoy
As usual start 50-50 से ही होता है यार. 10
नहीं
वोट में
नहीं
पूरा 50-50.
hear me out no let's say Pranoy is the winner in this poll result so where does he rank then seventh
मतलब
or
I
sixth
am happy with 8. So you tell me फिर who else you want to
I
put at
am
8th.
asking you if he wins the poll then tell me seventh or sixth
हाँ, okay, that way. Okay. So you're saying Antim will go down. हाँ, yeah.
हाँ
Yeah.
वो तो she
हाँ,
will
so
go down but
हाँ, so मैं तो बोल रहा हूँ कि 8th ही होना चाहिए, तो मैं तो फिर बोलूंगा 7th ही है ना. Why will I say कि more higher? 7th ही
मेरा
ना.
क्वेश्चन ये है कि इन दोनों में पोल हम रन कर रहे हैं डू
हम्म.
वी प्लेस दीज टू ऑन सेवेंथ एट्थ और सिक्स्थ और सेवेंथ
तो
कंसिडरिंग
तो
सिफत
who's the
इज आल्सो देयर
अच्छा, you want to put Sifat at 8? नहीं, तो मैं वही
या
पूछ रहा था कि then who goes at 8? नहीं, for
हाँ
me.
फॉर मी सिफत
हाँ, नहीं, for me Sifat is higher. उसका भी
देन
पोल कर सकते हैं. हाँ,
वेयर
या put her
सिफत इज बट टिल व्हाट रैंक
maybe even 4th. I'm मतलब I ठीक है. 1 and 2 I think most of us know कि where are we going with 1 and 2. But 1 and
अरे
2.
बट वी हैव टू कंसिडर
हाँ, नहीं, तो मैं
I
वही
mean,
बोल रहा ना.
whatever factors we are taking, there has to be some standardization,
नहीं, तो
right?
मैं वही
जिसमें
बोल रहा.
हेरा है तो
हाँ, नहीं, तो मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ कि 1 and 2 we know pretty much कि कहाँ
yeah,
जा रहे हैं. So
yeah,
then comparison becomes Sifat versus ईशा, निखत एंड लवलीना, राइट.
yeah.
हाँ, सो मतलब मुझे लग रहा है सिफत माइट बी.
Okay, but why Lovelina and why not Nikhat?
मैंने बोला भी नहीं लवलीना.
Lovelina बोला तूने अभी
मैं बोलने वाला था, मैंने बोला भी नहीं. मैं बोलने वाला था, मैंने बोला भी नहीं. सो दैट इटसेल्फ इज आई थिंक एन आंसर. बट या निखत एंड
I
लवली.
don't understand the point.
हाँ,
क्या
बट ठीक है.
बोलना चाह रहा है?
निखत एंड लवलीना का ओके, वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप का दोनों का गोल्ड है. लवलीना मेड द जंप फ्रॉम 69 टू 75 एज वेल. सो दैट इटसेल्फ इज अ बिग डील. एशियन चैंपियनशिप में लवलीना कहाँ थी? सिल्वर ना.
एशियन गेम्स में
हाँ, सॉरी, एशियन गेम्स में सिल्वर
हम्म
ना.
या
हाँ, so yeah, we can't put Lavlina below Nikat. In fact, Lavlina goes
या
ahead of Nikat then.
या
हाँ, so फिर सिफत फिर maybe, yeah, maybe 5th पे आ जाती है. But then what about Isha? I would put her ahead of Isha as well.
सिफत
Hmm.
Look, if
But yeah,
that's what,
it's
no, I
close.
mean, for us, the major factor we are considering throughout this ranking is the achievements, right?
Hmm.
So going by that,
मतलब वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड को मैं
you
ज्यादा ही
have
कुछ
to
वैल्यू
put,
कर रहा हूँ, राइट? हाँ, यू आर सेइंग दैट।
and that's a one-off event.
ठीक है, चल, एनीवेज आई थिंक प्रणॉय वर्सेस पंगाल का पोल यू आर विनिंग, दो इट्स क्लोज। मतलब 24 वोट्स में 58-42 है, तो आई गेस यू हैव वन बाय लाइक 4 वोट्स और समथिंग, आई एम नॉट श्योर।
Hmm.
थोड़ा
So
और
I
दुखना है?
think थोड़ा
चलो।
सा यहाँ पे here the question is now, where do you put, it's actually shooters versus these two. So do you rank shooters higher or do you rank these two higher? For me,
these two कौन है
I
तेरे?
think
प्रणॉय एंड अंतिम?
Antim, yeah.
हम्म, ठीक है, सो आई
For
थिंक,
me, it should be fifth पे Isha.
बट इट कैन बी मिक्स्ड आल्सो ना। हाँ ठीक है, तू बोल।
It can be mixed. For me, it should be fifth Isha,
हम्म,
followed by Pranoy and Antim, and then eighth Sifat. Sifat simply because even though she is performing at a very very high level, on paper in terms of achievements, she does not have a lot to show.
या
And world record, significant achievement, but it's one off.
हाँ ठीक है, आई मीन आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड योर पॉइंट। हम्म, ठीक है, मतलब बेसिकली इट्स लाइक ओके वी आर वैल्यूइंग द पोटेंट, बट यार वो 50 मीटर वाला भी एस्पेक्ट आ जाता है कि शी इज सो मच बेटर देन। पोल डालना है कि डाल दें 8 पे?
I think कर सकते हैं
आई थिंक एक पोल तो डालना
finalize.
पड़ेगा समवेयर कंपेयरिंग, मतलब वी हैव टू पुट अ पोल कंपेयरिंग प्रणॉय टू आइदर सिफत और ईशा। किसके साथ डालना है? यू वांट टू पुट विद ईशा?
So Pranoy versus shooters कर दे, because shooters में it's pretty much decided, right? Isha over Sifat.
तो तीनों ही डाल देता हूँ ना मैं, ठीक है, आई विल मेक
तीनों
अ
डाल
पोल,
दे.
आई विल मेक अ पोल प्रॉपर्ली। तो ठीक है, दिस प्रणॉय हैज वन, ओके, so for the time being we can change this, but for the time being let's put अंतिम at let's say 8th, okay, दो शीक या 7th पे डाल देते हैं, चलो, as a just as a placeholder, then we'll figure out कि क्या करना है। and I'll add a poll, start a poll, so uh, who should be higher, uh, Ranoi higher than both shooters, okay, uh, Isha higher than Pranay, and add option सिफत हायर देन प्रणॉय, चलो ऐसे डाल देते हैं, ठीक है। सो इट्स लाइक इन अ वे वो सिफत और ईशा का भी सॉर्ट ऑफ कंपैरिजन हो गया, बट या तो मैं ऐसे डाल रहा हूँ, हु शुड बी हायर, प्रणॉय हायर देन बोथ शूटर्स, ईशा हायर देन प्रणॉय, या सिफत हायर देन प्रणॉय, ठीक है।
Hmm. And so till the poll is running, so Samrat has been saying heavier weight categories does not typically have high competition. But
इन
that's
एशिया,
not Lavlina's problem, right, Samrat?
नहीं
I mean,
बट,
she can only compete against what is in front of her.
बट सम्राट, यू आर टॉकिंग के शी गॉट अ वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप गोल्ड एज वेल, so then you can't compare there.
Yeah,
Yeah, there I agree with Weber. If you're saying that Asia is stronger in Asian, sorry, lower categories are stronger in Asian, then that's a different issue. But World Championship gold is World Championship gold. You don't, and they are both Olympic categories, so you can't really say that वहाँ पे competition is lower or something. So according to me, that does, and 75 is the highest one, right?
and let
Yeah.
and one factor I think probably we can consider in Lavlina's case is also she did not move to 75 now. She
Hmm.
moved to 75 before Commonwealth Games, and Commonwealth Games was a disaster for her, right?
Also, हाँ,
And there was so much of controversy around her, and she was totally, you know, outcasted in a way, so much of negative sentiments towards her, and coming back from that, it's a commendable job.
yeah, and people are starting to give up on her as well, right? Matlab,
Exactly.
and the other factor you can also consider is that even we have been very weak in heavier categories, right? India as a country, we are much stronger in the lighter weights. तो
Yeah.
वो वाला भी फैक्टर है, तो वो तो आई डोंट थिंक यू कैन कंसिडर।
Yeah.
आई थिंक
Also,
1 2 3 4
Sarvana
पे।
has a question. What else Rohan Bopanna should do to be in top five? Maybe win a Grand Slam, Sarvana. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, one is win a Grand Slam, the other is out of his control. But the bigger problem is ke he doesn't have a partner, right? So eventually, this is an Olympic top 10, which we are considering. And yeah, ठीक है, we are looking at the sports persons as a themselves, but थोड़ा वो factor आ जाता है फिर कि at the end of the day he doesn't have a partner in Olympics. So
ठीक है, how ठीक है, हाँ, that's also correct.
from his side he can't find a partner अगर नहीं है तो नहीं है. But yeah, win a Grand Slam is a good answer. And the others have also done very well, right? वो वाली भी बात है.
Yep. Do
So
we have the poll result?
it's very close इसलिए I was holding right now because एक मिनट पहले प्रणॉय एंड सिफत वर बोथ 41. I think Isha is clearly least here. So मतलब then if you want you can do an Isha versus Antim poll or Isha can go at 8.
I look, वही मैं बोल रहा था, there will be so many permutation combinations.
तो वो
Ultimately, the audience is not, privy of what basic standard factors we have considered to decide this ranking. That is up to us, right?
हाँ तो तू
So
बोल.
for me, achievements are the ones which should be weighing heaviest, because ultimately we are talking about uh, the sports persons in 2020, their achievements.
या एंड बट उसमें भी एक जो अपन में
It
डिफरेंस आ
should
जाता है.
be, like I said, yeah.
हाँ बट उसमें भी जो अपन में एक डिफरेंस आता है थोड़ा बहुत के हाउ वी वैल्यू द अचीवमेंट्स डिफर बिटवीन यू एंड मी, राइट?
But
I generally
you
tend to value.
value the achievements throughout the year, no?
नहीं, that's
There
okay.
shouldn't be any difference.
नहीं, that's okay. What I mean is कि I generally value the achievements at a world level more than the Asian level. That is one thing. And I generally
Yeah, that's a basic fact. I would also do that.
नहीं, मतलब डिफरेंस मेरा ज़्यादा है. आई थिंक तेरा डिफरेंस थोड़ा कम है वहाँ पे.
No, not necessarily.
मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि तेरा डिफरेंस थोड़ा कम है वहाँ पे. एंड द अदर फैक्टर इज ऑल्सो कि आई वैल्यू कोटाज मोर देन यू. So Asia still doesn't have a quota, which affects me. So for me,
Okay, yeah, I can't agree to that,
हाँ, so
because if Isha does not, if because anyone can win a quota right now, right?
yeah.
It's not shooter dependent.
हाँ बट ठीक है, वो मुझे लगता है. बाय द वे 10.9 इज सेइंग ईशा ने क्या किया, नो कोटा नो वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप मेडल. सो 10.9 यू आर करेक्ट इन दैट शी डजंट हैव अ कोटा एंड शी डजंट हैव अ वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप मेडल इन द इंडिविजुअल इवेंट. बट शी हैज अ गोल्ड इन द मिक्स टीम इवेंट एंड मिक्स टीम इवेंट इज ऑल्सो एन ओलंपिक इवेंट. सो वहां पे वो थोड़ा डिफरेंस आ जाता है.
And by the way, that's also the reason she's won Arjuna Award alongside
ठीक है,
Aishwarya.
ठीक है यार, अब लेट्स नॉट गेट इनटू अर्जुन अवार्ड्स, वो फिर अलग ही
No, I'm
सीन है.
just
हाँ.
adding as a fact. That's all.
But ठीक है, but see, based on the poll, it's very clear that Pranoy and Sifat have to be higher than Asia. The question now is कि Antim 7th and Asia 8th or the other way. I think Antim should be 7th. If you're disagreeing, then we'll put another poll.
Yeah, of course, I'll disagree to that. See, again, Kapil, I don't see doing another poll. We can simply decide. We need to, consider time factor also. We can't
But
just
but
simply sit
but
here and continue this,
but
right?
poll is actually the easiest way because we are disagreeing, right? You have given your points. I think Antim is higher than Isha. You are saying Isha is higher than Antim. We have given both our points.
Poll again, if you're doing it on a common factor where apple to apple comparison is there, then it does make sense. That's okay.
नहीं, but ranking में we are, but the entire stream is not based on apple to apple. What about that? ठीक है. Anyways, let me put Pranoy at 5th. He went there. Let me put Sifat at 6th. And then top 4 we'll decide. Antim versus
Yeah.
Isha is
Top
that.
four, I think, is simple then.
हाँ, तो Antim versus Isha is one poll which we have to put. So who should be ranked higher? Okay. So one is Antim and one is Isha. Okay. चलो, so ये पोल डाल दिया. So meantime I think we can start top 4.
With the top four, yeah.
I
Yeah.
think first तो मतलब do we want to prolong or should we finish
I
the.
think top four is as is decided only. We spoke about Lavlina and Nikhat.
Hmm.
So that in a way gets decided. If we both of us agree Lavlina should be higher than Nikhat, so then that decides third and fourth simply.
So you're saying based
What do you
on
think?
Nikhat got a bronze in Asian and Lavlina got a silver in Asian
Yeah,
and both have the gold.
yeah.
I will agree from a year perspective because for me the other aspect which Lavlina has is moving up to 75. So which is
which she
also,
did last year.
but ठीक है, but she's competing in a new category, right? And she's winning in a new much heavier category. ऐसा भी नहीं है कि थोड़ा सा heavy है. So her Olympics medal was in 69. I think
Mm.
last year I'm not too sure if she competed in 75 or it was 71 only mainly. But initially she started with 70 or 71, whichever that category is. And then this year she's moved to 75 and gold in World Championship in one of your first events in 75. I think at least one first major event in 75. I might be wrong, might be second.
Commonwealth Games she participated in 75, no?
But okay, Commonwealth is not that much that high, right? But yeah, did she participate in 75 by the way in Commonwealth or 71?
75.
Okay, but yeah, okay. Anyways, we are agreeing on that. Ke Lavlina goes ahead of Nikat in just on pure achievement perspective. In terms of who has a higher chance of medal next year, that's a different discussion.
Yeah,
But yeah, ranking me yeah. So I think we are agreeing. So we'll just put Lavlina, Borgohain, uh, quota, Asian silver, and world gold in three. And Nikhat has all of that except she had a Asian bronze.
yeah.
And
Simply for those reasons.
yeah, you can yeah take it. You might say just a draw thing, but whatever. We have to make a difference somehow. So that is there, that is there. And by the way, poll is pretty one-sided. थोड़ा 16 वोट ही आए हैं तो थोड़ा और रुक सकते हैं. But yeah,
Yeah,
check.
it'll be in Antim's favor, right?
हाँ, so मतलब
हाँ, so वो
basically
तो पता था.
पता था तो फिर ठीक है ना, फिर मैं तो डिसएग्री कर रहा हूँ तो फिर वैसे ही होगा ना, पता था तो.
वही तो, वो तो फिर परसेप्शन ड्रिवन है ना पोल तो. वो तो
नहीं बट अचीवमेंट ड्रिवन फिर वो है ना कि कोटा नहीं है, कोटा नहीं है.
हाँ हाँ, we'll go with the poll. I'm not disagreeing
हाँ.
on that. I'm just saying कि I that was obvious कि हाँ अंतिम, because she's more prominent name, been in the news more, and she's a upcoming star, whereas Isha belongs to shooting जहाँ जिनका already नाम खराब है. So
और
all of
शूट
those get factored in.
और शूटिंग में थोड़ा ये भी हो जाता है कि यू गेट अ लिटिल लॉस्ट इन द शफल, क्योंकि कंटिन्यूअसली नाम चेंज होते रहते हैं. देयर टू मेनी नेम्स इन शूटिंग, राइट? ईशा
Yep.
है, रिदम है, ये मनु है, इवन जस्ट टॉकिंग अबाउट पिस्टल शूटर्स. तो वो काफ़ी है ना, थोड़ा मिक्स हो जाता है. बट या लोग
Okay, so
इज इट ओनली
uh,
सरवना कुमार बाय द वे हु इज campaigning for Rohan Bopanna, or is somebody else also campaigning for
I
Rohan
think it's
Bopanna?
just him only.
Okay.
Okay, so we are done with uh, third to 10th, and yeah, it's pretty clear.
I mean, yeah. So you want to do two first or one?
Obviously, we'll go with two first.
चलो बोलो.
Just that the only thing in their case
अच्छा अच्छा,
was
एक मिनट रुक 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 बिफोर यू नेम. आई एम नॉट पुटिंग अ पोल गाइस बिकॉज वी आर वेरी क्लियर यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है. आई एम जस्ट गोना आस्क इन द लाइव चैट के डू यू गाइस हैव एनी डाउट के हु इज नंबर टू. सो जस्ट टाइप इन द चैट हु डू यू थिंक विल बी नंबर टू आउट ऑफ दीज टू. तो देखते हैं if we get managed. I'm not putting a poll because we both agree on that. So बोल.
yeah, the only thing.
Nobody is typing
Uh,
yet. Maybe हाँ ठीक है, अभी टाइपिंग चालू हुआ है. Okay. Sachi, Satvik Chirag,
can we
Sachi,
discuss, Kapil?
Sachi. Yes, we can discuss. At least, yeah, everybody is saying Sachi. Yeah.
So it's pretty much decided only then. Satvik
Mm,
Chirag have to be there on second. The
mm,
only thing that was missing for them was they missed out on a world championship medal,
mm.
where they started out as a favorite again. But again, overall, if you see, it's been a fantastic year for
Yeah.
them, especially considering they were very clear about their goals this year. They wanted a Asian Games gold, they won that. They wanted to win a Asian Championship, which nobody had done before. They went on and win that. Indonesian Open, again, they've spoken about it a lot of times how they love playing in Indonesia and they would love to win there. Sort of a big goal for them. They again went on and win there. And outside of this, we often forget Indian badminton players, no matter how they perform at World Championship and Olympics, they don't win a lot of world tours.
Mm,
So this year, Satvik and Chirag also won Korean Open. They also won Swiss Open, adding to the previous three achievements. So yeah, all in all, fantastic year for them. Just that, considering Neeraj, he became world champion and then he was almost undefeated throughout the year.
ठीक है नीरज पे
Unac-
बाद में जाते हैं सो आई जस्ट कंप्लीट ऑन साची के yeah he's already listed a long list of achievements for Sachi and there is no doubt in that मतलब it was never the first two were never really in debate we all knew कि one or two कौन होने वाले हैं and the only slight downside you can say about Sachi is that there were a lot of first round losses as well. But ठीक है, when you play so many tournaments and it's a very highly physical sport, it happens. And one thing which people often don't like is that they didn't make the World Tour finals, which was sad, but it is an indictment of the system they have used for selecting the World Tour finals that Sachi was not in it more than anything
True.
else. So they have had their lows. It's not been a year which is consistently high for them. They have had, I think, like four or five first round losses, four or five second round losses. So they have had their lows as well. And yeah, the biggest low, which in such a year you expect a better performance at the World Championship. But okay, unbelievable year, and very excited to see them at Paris. That's all I can say.
Yeah, totally agree there, Kapil, for a change.
हम्म, ठीक है नीरज पे तू चालू करेगा मैं चालू करूँ.
Go on. I don't have much to say on him. It's pretty evident and clear why he remains as our number one athlete.
ठीक है तो आई जस्ट से कि व्हेन वी डिस्कस दिस थीम आई थिंक आज मॉर्निंग में भी डिस्कस कि हाउ डू यू वांट टू डू दिस आई हैड कम विद द आइडिया के मतलब रैंकिंग्स नॉर्मली पीपल डू दिस वे व्हेन वी गो 10-1 एंड एवरीथिंग आई सेड यार let's not bury the lead. सबको मालूम है number one कौन है. Just put him right in the beginning. Then we can have all these polls and discussions which we have been having so far. And it's like you don't have to mention कि number one कौन है. My question was like even is there even a debate कि who's number one है? And Weber was like maybe you can debate with Sachi, but he's like okay, well I will say Neeraj, but okay I can debate Sachi on that.
No, I meant it is definitely worth discussing. ऐसा नहीं है कि कुछ डिस्कशन ही नहीं होना चाहिए and you straight away start off with Neeraj as
नहीं
number
नहीं
one. That
हाँ
just ruins the entire fun.
हाँ तो
That's all.
yes I thought कि मतलब everybody knows Neeraj is number one उसमें मतलब there's no suspense there at least that's what I felt and yeah the guy has been unbelievable right he had that two events where he was burnt out one was a Diamond League event and one was a Diamond League final which he didn't win he still came second or third in them he didn't
Yeah,
win
second.
दोनों में second आया कि एक में third था
हाँ,
ना शायद
second में second था दोनों में.
दोनों में ही second था okay so he was a little burnt out and he came second in them but then every event he's entered he's been first man and in an athletics event he's now the reigning world champion and the Olympic champion which I believe only Abhinav Bindra has achieved. I don't think even the hockey team has achieved that because technically मतलब World Cup start ही late हुआ and we have actually just won one World Cup in hockey which was in 75 at which
Yeah.
point we were not the Olympic champions. So even hockey team has not achieved that. But yeah, he's the world champion, the Olympic champion. He's undefeated.
Even in javelin events history, it's just only three javelin throwers who have been able to achieve it.
Yeah, so मतलब कुछ है ही नहीं वहाँ पे. He's and उसके ऊपर then you add on things like everything that happened in the Asian Games, judging and everything, and it just improves his performance even more, right? With how his impressive throw was disallowed, and then he comes back. He's feeling the burn. He has to throw. He has to take one throw when his body is completely cold, but he does it, and then he comes back in the fourth throw with a massive throw, which at least based on camera मुझे लगा कि went slightly ahead of the first as well. But ठीक है. But yeah, कुछ था ही नहीं मतलब मैंने वही बोला था कि I can't believe he is Indian and I can't believe कि we are watching him. I mean, how did we get him? वो समझ में नहीं आया. मतलब as Indians आदत नहीं है देखने की. इस लेवल का एक्सेलेंस देखने की आदत नहीं है honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you've summed up really well. Those are the right sentiments everyone shares. And yeah, he's been a phenom. So that's the reason he's at number one, considering he was the world champion and almost undefeated throughout the year. So yeah,
Yeah, and since we are talking
that
about
is
Neeraj, I'm gonna take this opportunity. I know Weber will not like it, but I'm gonna do this.
okay.
This is now a thing
Selfie bros
this is
really
now
wanted to.
this is now a thing we are gonna do whenever we are gonna talk about Neeraj क्योंकि मेरे OBS में बनी हुई तो है ही slide. Why not? So
Yeah, it's like a mirror image.
mirror image. हाँ okay yeah क्योंकि नीरज वैसे है थोड़ा बहुत yeah okay yeah so ठीक है
ठीक
so
है
that's
तो
like the top 10 we went longer than we wanted but then unfortunately we had a lot of issues as well in terms of technical issues start ही I think करते करते 10:15 बज गया था तो कुछ
I'm
करना
I'm waiting for this day where the
actually
time we
finish
have
it
agreed and you finish it
hmm.
on that note.
हाँ ठीक है but आज तो यार you can't even really blame me too much हाँ
Okay, Kapil.
हाँ ठीक है I know तू भी मुझे ही blame करेगा but ठीक है
चलो ठीक है guys. We it was a
you
lot
want
of
to
fun.
हाँ you want to just read out the मतलब ठीक है everybody can see the top 10 I thought if we read
Yeah,
it out but
yeah.
it's okay
But yeah, overall it was good fun. We tried to do something different, which was more interactive. And let us know in case you have any other ideas of what kind of streams we should be doing.
हाँ and next
Obviously, we are not going to be very very regular, but we'll try to do as and when we are able to find the time.
yeah and anyways मतलब next year फिर Olympics आ रहा है a lot of qualification events as well so we'll try to cover that as well and जाते जाते Anubhav has given I think his third super chat thanks a lot for don't listen to Weber love the streams थोड़ा ज्यादा कर दिया करो Weber भैया आप पैसा दे के
Yeah.
बोल दिया है अब पैसा दे के बोल दिया है
हाँ, मैं मारवाड़ी, तू है कपिल, मैं नहीं हूँ.
हाँ मैं मारवाड़ी हूँ भैया पैसा दे के बोल दिया है आप Weber अब तो कुछ नहीं कर सकता
Yeah.
हम्म, ठीक है
ठीक है, we'll definitely try and do that,
हाँ
Anubhav.
आई
Thanks
थिंक
for that.
आई थिंक जैन में मैंने देखा था राइट अर्ली इन जैन शूटिंग का एशियन चैम्प वो जो एशियन क्वालिफायर है दैट्स लाइक वेरी अर्ली इन जैन लाइक 4-5 जैन को ही चालू हो रहा है एंड इवन हॉकी आई थिंक इज इन जैन ओनली वुमेन्स
Hmm.
हॉकी तो
Yeah.
मतलब या वील होपफुली ट्राई टू कवर दीज क्वालिफिकेशन इवेंट्स डिपेंडिंग ऑन शेड्यूल एंड टाइमिंग एंड एक थोड़ा ये फील आया मेरे को इस साल कि नॉर्मली जितना क्वालिफिकेशन होता है उस बार नहीं हुआ इस बार राइट इवन मतलब जस्ट इन होल्डिंग ऑफ इवेंट्स नॉट अबाउट अस विनिंग और लूजिंग नॉर्मली जितना क्वालिफिकेशन प्रोग्रेस हो गया होता है बाय द एंड ऑफ प्री ओलंपिक ईयर इस बार मे बी थोड़ा कम था यू फेल्ट और मे बी जस्ट आई फेल्ट दैट
I think थोड़ा सा ये भी फैक्टर है कि एशियन गेम्स सॉर्ट ऑफ ओवरशैडोड एवरीथिंग एल्स, राइट?
मे
तो
बी
उस वजह से वो इतना टॉप ऑफ द माइंड रजिस्टर नहीं होता कि हाँ क्वालिफिकेशंस भी चल रहे हैं साथ साथ.
मे बी वैसे हाँ सोचो तो इवेंट तो वही है आई थिंक एक रेसलिंग में सबसे बड़ा डिफरेंस था वेर वी इवेंट ओनली वन लास्ट टाइम वी हैड
Yeah.
लाइक 4 या ठीक है चलो फिर थैंक्स अ लॉट गाइस थैंक्स अ लॉट फॉर जॉइनिंग
Thank you
पौने
so
एक
much,
बज रहा है
guys.
yeah I still
Yes.
have to go to one kid in 7.5 hours sleep also before that
Before that, maybe perhaps watch a couple of chess streams.
नहीं चेस की स्ट्रीम एक्चुअली मेनली कल खत्म हो गई yesterday the event ended so
ठीक है,
अगर
cool.
होता तो शायद मैंने ये स्ट्रीम कल कर दी होती आई डोंट नो
ठीक है.
ओके
All right.
चलो
चलो, see you
yeah
guys.
thanks a lot for joining guys and sorry about the technical troubles I don't know honestly how to resolve them but I'll see what I can do
Yeah. All right. Enjoy your holidays. Bye bye.
चलो बाय बाय रुक रुक रुक
Whew.
या